went there too. I thought it was, I know, I you know what? I thought it was last week, but whatever. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, wow. He's been dealing with the acting stuff and all, so I haven't yeah, after the acting strike, then he was dealing with the video game strike and everything else. And he told me he was kind of pissed for a while because the work, wasn't coming through, starting to come back a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it was a good lineup. Yeah, I was hoping y'all liked that video I put out for y'all. You get a little promo. Mark, did you get a chance to see that? Mark, did you hear it? Mark. Okay. That's it. Did you get a chance to see the Muppet video thing I said? I know you're too big now, you got still popular. You're now like popular. You're like, oh my God, this thing's nuts. This is as big as Mega Man. So you are Michael Jackson, you are Jackson. I just don't have the hair like the man.
Attention, you are now tuned in to Pass the Controller.
Game on. Round table, show me your moves.
How these noobs get good and get in the groove.
Gears of war like Sonic hopping the tuck.
You don't want the smoke, you'll get body by big nuts.
Come for the character, stay for the content.
Fans from the elite to the civic minded.
Conventions are streamed, the topics to see.
Tell them tune in, peace and hair grease.
Let's go, baby.
Peace and hair grease.
Pass that, pass that, pass that, pass the controller. Pass that, pass that, pass that, pass the controller. Pass that, pass that, pass that, pass the controller. Pass that, pass that, pass that, pass the controller.
One and all to a beautiful occasion. That's right. It is our 7th season finale show and our 4th annual Pass the Controller. 5th annual? That was a 4th. It's a 5th? Listen, we could be out, man. I lost count, dude. We got this, our 5th annual Passies Award show, man. Brought to you by the good folks at Coca-Cola and Nike and all that good stuff, man. We're not sponsored, man. I wish we were. But listen,
Squid Games were sponsoring.
Squid Games were sponsoring. One of us is going to be killed later on in the show. Anyway, who knows? But we got to make a choice. But welcome, everybody, man. Listen, we enjoy doing these Passies Awards, man. because first of all, this is a award show that is ran by y'all, ran by you all, and of course, the nominees get the coveted Passy Awards that Civ is holding, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful Passy Awards. We love it here, man. We can't wait. We can't wait to give this to all the winners, man. But of course, man, listen, you already know who I am. I'm McNuts, man. Of course, I'm your humble host, man, for this evening, man. We got our two greatest hosts as well, too, man. We got. Let's see. Hold on. First of all, and the man with a dapper suit over there, man. We got Civic Minded. Civic, how you been, man?
Doing all right, guys. Another good year, right? We survived another one.
Oh my God, 7 years.
Canceled yet? Yeah. So yeah, we're doing well, man. It's gonna be good. We have a good night ahead. We're gonna get everybody's opinions on these things as we rattle off each one of these categories and the nominees here. Everybody's gonna vote online. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna debate it, and nothing is in stone until the last vote is cast. So everybody get ready. We're gonna have a good night. It's gonna be a blast. But it wouldn't be any fun without the man who's number one. We'll talk about Eric the Smoke Moran. What's going on, Eric?
Smoke!
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What it do?
No, it's funny. All of us are kind of cosplaying a little bit. I'm cosplaying Christmas. You got Civ, who's like cosplaying between a WWE, a sports cast. He looks like a sportscaster or MMA. Pick your choice. You got
I'm the meme.
looking like they're not like us. I'm waiting for them to start breaking down and going up against Drake. It's that type of year. We end off the year for bang by doing the Passies.
Yes.
We want to talk about some of the biggest games, some of the biggest moments, some of the biggest ups, some of the biggest downs in the video game industry. And it's all here at the Passies Awards tonight. So, without further ado, McNuts, I'm going to hand you back the controller.
Oh, thank you, man. Listen, I've been hearing that for the 7th year. It's been a glorious 7 years, though, man. We know 2024 has been a rocky year for video games for a lot of people, but there has been some shining glimmer moments that we can take away from 2024, and of course that's why we have the Passies. Now, always the Passies is usually after the official Game Awards and all the other, we go through the Game Awards, we see that, we like, you know what, man, the Game Awards kind of suck. But here's our award show that's even better. You know what I mean? Listen, that's why we do this for y'all, man, because this is ran by the chat. Now, in order for y'all to make the vote count, like I said, we have numerous categories. We have right now we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories right now. And of course, the coveted Lifetime Achievement Award. We're going to talk about that later on. But 8 categories that y'all can vote on. And the way you vote on is a lot of ways. Now, there's ways that we are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.
That's 12 categories, my friend.
12 categories. Let me see. Yeah, I think 12. Yeah, 12 categories.
Man, you all right tonight? I'm worried.
Dude, listen.
You're so big now, man.
Listen.
So
it's 12 categories. 12 categories. I just got files. I got picture files.
That's what happens when you become famous.
Hold on. I got picture files for 8 of them. That's why. So it's 12 official categories. Eight
picture pages.
Picture pages for 8 categories, man. So you're gonna see what's gonna be on the lineup as well too. Now, the only way you can vote, like I said, if you're on our Facebook page, welcome on Facebook. You can type your vote in on Facebook as we throw out the nominees. If you're on Twitch, of course, same thing on Twitch. I see people on Twitch right now waiting, and of course YouTube, same thing for you, YouTube. And if you don't want to jump in on chat, like we did last year, and I always get at y'all chat about it too. I know for the introverts, man, y'all want to DM me. That's fine. Y'all can DM me on Twitter, anywhere you want to, on Twitch. My DMs are open for your vote, man. My notifications are online right now from my phone, so you can
the hotline is open.
The hotline is
the
open.
Operators are standing by.
Basically, I'm the only operator here, but you can definitely hit me on DMs if you don't want to debate in chat, man. If you're scared to put your vote in chat, that's fine, but put it in chat, man, because you definitely want to see what the opinions of others are. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk it out amongst your fellow gamers, right? So listen, 7 years, man. This is amazing, man. We had a great time, definitely doing it for Pass Controller and all that. It's amazing. Of course, our 8th season coming in January, man, with big things coming. So you cannot miss any of this, man. Next time, make sure you follow our socials right on top of the page, or I'm sorry, right in the bottom of the page. QR code's right there, man. Make sure you copy that and follow us everywhere so you won't miss anything. With that being said, guys, are you ready?
I am ready.
I'm ready.
I
Chat.
am ready. My body's ready.
Oh, chat, are you ready? All right, chat's ready. Chat is ready. We are going to do it big. I like how Vam says, "Now I need to see Sagat in the suit." There you go, Vam. You got Sagat in the suit right there. There you go. Already, man. Sagat in the suit. All right. Now, of course, our first category is best multiplayer experience. Now, the best multiplayer experience, of course, you can play with your friends. You know what I mean? Play another +1. Best multiplayer experience. And here are the nominees. We love to do the nominees here, man. It's going to be so much fun. The nominees are Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel's Rivals, and last but not least, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Those are your nominees for best multiplayer experience. Let's talk about that real quick, guys. Man, what do you have to say, man, as far as the best multiplayer experience? What was your best multiplayer experience, man? I guess we put our nominees in. Civ didn't really tell who said what, so let's just go around the room.
Yeah, these are totally randomized here. So I'll go first. You can say if you nominated this one or not. I'm probably gonna just whatever. You'll figure it out by the way I vote. Going down the list, I think ironically, like I was never a Call of Duty guy, really. I'm not one of those people that hates on it, but it never landed with me really. I mean, sometimes they were fun, but I never was gung-ho about Call of Duty games. But I will say, my God, Black Ops 6 is incredible. It's incredible. It's a deep game. It plays like butter. It's super deep, like the customization you can do, the maps you can play, the types of games you can play. It's balanced. It's sounds great. It looks great. And more than anything, it's fun. Like, I'm glad that it's kind of some people hate that it's not super taking itself seriously, but I like that it's a little bit lighter now. It's whatever you want it to be. You can play Call of Duty, you know, uber serious. You could play it like Fortnite now if you want. Just thematically is what I'm saying. So you can't overlook Call of Duty, but my God, for me, it's this category is the tie between Helldivers and Marvel Rivals. Man, Helldivers is amazing. It just came out of nowhere as a surprise game. It's well supported, and Marvel Rivals, my God, I put more time into that lately.
Yeah,
that came out of nowhere. It wasn't even on my radar until it came out. And Nick, of course, who's not able to join us tonight, he's feeling a little under the weather. He sends his regards, but yeah, he persuaded us. He said, "Hey, yo, when this comes out, you want to check it out." And I'm a big Overwatch guy, so I played it and I was blown away. So. Man, it's really a toss-up for me. These are all strong competitors. I didn't play Super Mario Party Jamboree, so I have no opinion on that one. So, but yeah, what do you guys think?
Smoke, how about you, man?
Well, I agree definitely with Helldivers, as we've talked about throughout the year. For those who've been following and watching our show, I've been raving over Helldivers, and even though after for a bit it hit a bump in the road, and when they were not nerfing the weapon, they were nerfing the weapons and everything else. Arrowhead listened, and they listened to the fan responses, and they came back with a strong comeback. And especially during the video game awards, when they announced that the squids are back and everything else, we all got on. And man, and again, it's never going to be 100% perfect, but I've said this 1,000 times. I'm not a big fan of multiplayer games, but Helldivers 2 had me so wrapped up. I mean, we were cosplaying
y'all cosplay was amazing at too many games.
The whole nine, so we had so much fun. Marvel Rivals comes in a sharp second for me.
Okay.
I've only played it a couple times, and from what I've seen, it does have Overwatch vibes, but in the Marvel universe, and it is a lot of fun. I plan on getting back more into it once I'm done other games I'm playing right here, the moment and all. As far as Fortnite, Call of Duty, Super Mario, that's never been my thing. Call of Duty, just a little bit, but I haven't got a chance to play these other games because, again, Helldivers 2 had most of my evenings wrapped in a bow. So, like I said, again, the interaction, you get to play with other people around the world and everything else. It was really, and it has been a great experience playing Helldivers too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Nah.
so and then like I said, Marvel Rivals for me. What about you, Nuts?
You know what? It's so crazy too, man. Now that you think about, because I didn't think that Black Ops would be kind of prolific as far as like coming up this year, man. It's like, oh man, what's Black Ops doing, man? I know Black Ops is always the same Black Ops as Black Ops years before, but it has come up. It has come up. I definitely give Black Ops their props too, because I was like never a Black Ops fan, but I see the way it kind of upgraded and kind of it piqued out and it intrigued us a little bit as far as a first person shooter lovers go. But I definitely would have to give Marvel Rivals their flowers, man, because honestly, if it was me, I think I picked Super Mario Party Jamboree as far as nominations go, but Marvel Rivals was such a surprise, and I feel like even though I did put Jamboree as a nomination, I gotta pick Rivals, man, because Rivals.
And the thing with Rivals is, going back here. So Call of Duty Black Ops, it's number 6 in a line of games. So yes, it's coming up, but it's also a sequel that is taking a formula that's been set and changing it over time, which is fine, but it is a sequel. It's not breaking a lot of new ground, but it's homogenizing everything to where it's really getting to the level of almost perfect at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Helldivers is a $40 game that plays like a $60 game. That's really well supported. And again, you have this really great fan community and everything. But Marvel, I said Helldivers is
right.
Sorry, cold medication. Helldivers is a game that's $40 that plays like a $60 game.
Right.
Marvel Rivals is a free game that plays like a $60 game.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is doing everything that Overwatch does successfully, but in a third person, and it adds the Marvel lore to it with a great art style, phenomenal soundtrack. It plays incredibly well. There's no glitchiness to it whatsoever.
Right.
Like nothing I've noticed. It's fairly well balanced. And matchmaking is like instantaneous. As soon as you want to play, there's almost no queue time to it. The longest I think I've ever waited for a match was like 20 seconds. I think that only happened like once.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, for like 9/10 out of the year, I probably would have been like, yo, Helldivers 2 has my vote. But man, as of late, Helldivers is coming in super hot. So those are my top two. I got to go either. I'm with Smoke. It's a total toss up for me. I'm really kind of torn. So
you got to pick one.
I don't know. All right. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Smoke? You can go.
Well, as I said, for a game that started off in the beginning of the year, Marvel. The only thing is with Marvel Rivals, it came in late towards the end of the year. Where Helldivers kind of built that audience, Helldivers 2, and they had like I said, had ups and downs and all the community, the fan community overall. We're going with the ups and downs. There was a strong support for the game. Everyone took a stand against PlayStation, and then they had to renege on some stuff. So I'm going to go with this year because they put in a lot of work, and they came back even stronger. I got to give Helldivers 2 their flowers this year.
All right, so Helldivers 2 locked in for Smoke.
I'm convinced. I think that's a good argument, and I agree with it. So I think
Helldivers
I'm
as well
going
too.
Helldivers. Yeah, I mean it's super close, but Helldivers. Yeah, I agree with that. Those are good reasons.
Yeah, okay. And like I said, I gotta go with Marvel Rivals. So Chad actually talked, like Vam says, Marvel Rivals is such an up and coming hotness, man. Which I mean, honestly, dude, yeah, you gotta say it's probably the big thing, going this year. It's going to be the most continuous thing going into 2025 as well, too. Just imagine, like I said, the Game Awards is going to be like, what's the most ongoing game? And they got to put Marvel Rivals there, man. Marvel Rivals has to be, the biggest game going into. You can say goodbye to Fortnite, man, because Marvel Rivals already pretty much just eclipse that. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be insane. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be really, really insane. So I'm looking at all the chat. I'm looking at everybody, looking at, of course, the DMs pop up as well, too. So we're going to go into the winner of Best Multiplayer Experience is... Marvel Rivals.
Wow.
Marvel Rivals have took it, man. Everybody's loving Marvel Rivals, dude, for real.
Yeah.
They say Marvel Rivals is popping off like that, man. It is insane. Congratulations to Marvel Rivals winning Best best multiplayer experience, man. I mean, rightly so, for sure, man. Because I mean, again,
I think the only thing is with Marvel Rivals, because it came late in the game.
Yeah.
It came out like a couple months ago. So I mean, again, I'm going with, if the game came out earlier this year, if it came out like say February, March, it has a little more longevity. Even though we know that Marvel Rivals is gonna be blowing away it's gonna make a lot of records. It's gonna break a lot of records.
For sure.
I still would have to say Helldivers 2, because they earned that whole year slot. They have a chance to promote and everything and push. And like I said, they went through their trials and tribulations and still came out on top. That was like going on the top, being the underdog, coming back. That's like Rocky.
Right.
It's like, fighting Apollo, coming back, getting knocked down by Mr. T, coming back, taking on Drago. So,
Yeah.
that's why I have to say Helldivers 2 is, in my opinion, is a true winner.
True.
Even though Marvel Legends, again, if they had put that same amount of time in, it would have been a really.
But congratulations to the win.
Yeah.
Well deserved. Marvel Rivals.
Marvel Rivals, man. Listen, it's a lot going on. Marvel Rivals could win another one. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? As the award show goes on.
Can I ask you something? Jeff Keighley's not on the voting thing, is he?
No, he's not. Because I don't want him in the
He's not friends with any of you guys.
Nope, I don't want him in the voting thing, man. I'm good, man. Listen. All right, like I said, chat, we're doing so well. Remember, again, when we do all these nominees, when we throw out these nominees for different categories, remember, you can always vote. Put your vote in the chat. You can DM me however you want to, but your vote still counts. But make sure you get involved with this voting, because like I said, this award show is just for you. Now we go into Video Game Character of the Year, man. This is video game characters that impacted our lives for 2024, man. And there's been a lot of video game characters that have really touched our hearts this year, and we, a lot of us want to cosplay, or we just feel like we are the character, in this year, man. So listen, the nominees for Best Video Game Character of the Year is, here we go. We got Astrobot. We got Captain Titus from Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2. Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow Heart from Baldur's Gate 3. And finally, the Destined One from Black Myth Wukong. Those are our nominees for Video Game Character of the Year. All right. What we say, man? Listen, let's go around. You know what? Let's start with Smoke first, real quick. Smoke, man. Listen, I know you got. I know what you going to. Smoke, how you? Yo, Smoke is like, yo.
No. I'll let y'all take a guess.
Wait. What? Wait. Dude, that's dope. That is dope. I don't know where you got that from, but that is dope, dude. That is dope.
So let me just say it like this: that's the one, aka the Monkey King, the one that's been influenced by Dragon Ball and a whole bunch of other anime and movies and everything else. The Destined One for me, Sun Wukong, or aka the Monkey King, because again, it was the storyline is amazing. The character, even though he didn't have to say anything, his actions spoke in volumes. I love the character. Again, the lineup who he's going up against, like Titus, for those people who are in the Warhammer, in the Warhammer fandom, like myself, I'm also a Warhammer fan. To see Titus up there, Shadow's got a good chance of winning, I think, because Shadow's been around for a good long while. Movie just came out. We're talking about popularity. I'm looking at. I'm not thinking about Astrobot because it's a random character to me. The same with Shadowheart. To me, I'm looking at what stands out. What character stands out? So as much as I love Wukong and the Monkey King, I'm going to say that more than likely Shadow's going to probably win this, just on alone because of the movie. You got Keanu now as the voice. So now when you're playing the game, it's Keanu's voice. So, and you have a lot of Keanu fans, a lot of Shadow fans. So, like I said, it's going to probably more likely be Shadow.
Yeah, I agree with you, Smoke. 100% Shadow. You talk about this is the year of Shadow, really. And it's so crazy, too, because in the Sonic fandom, it was supposed to be the year of Knuckles. but that got eclipsed by Shadow
Sure
so
enough.
easily,
Man,
dude. And I was like, man, Shadow has taken over. And it's just in every platform and merch. I'm talking about
are
like,
you all right? Are you all right, Nuts?
listen, man,
You all right?
listen. The chat knows. The chat does know. Shadow is insane, man. It's just again, Keanu did a great job. You
Yeah.
know, like I said, we'll talk about that later on, for sure. But just with the game out right now, that is, really being popular, man, and just the character itself, man, it's just being on the spotlight. Shadow is really good, but of course, I gotta say, that the Destin one as well too. It's just the culture, man, as far as how the lore of it, man, as far as the Monkey King. And I had to actually research that as well too. Like that actually, like Black Myth kind of actually had me research on the lore of the Monkey King and what was pretty much I guess laid out as far as what goes in that story. But I loved it. I loved it, man. And like I said, me playing Black Myth Wukong as well too. It was between Shadow and the Destined one. You know what I'm saying? But again, of course, now you have Shadow, man. Just like again, it's a culture phenomenon for 2024, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be insane. So
you got to remember, Shadow holds place because a lot of people have been fans of Shadow. But then, like I said, Titus also because, again, for Warhammer fans out there, Titus is no joke either.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And he was just on another level, secret level. So
that's right.
it gave him more notoriety. So it's been a good game. It's been a good year for all these individual characters, 3 characters we just talked about. So it's been a good year for them.
Yeah, true. And don't forget about Shadowheart too, man, from Baldur's Gate 3, which is, I mean, now, like I said, we've got the chance to talk to like majority of the cast from Baldur's Gate, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty cool. I kind of wish that, I feel like Asterion, of course, played by Neil Newbon, a friend of the show, I wish that, we actually put Asterion, I mean, like I said, even all the characters on Baldur's Gate is phenomenal for sure, you know what I'm saying? Big ups to them. But I feel like Asterion was like the most prolific, everybody kind of like, was touched by Asterion, like probably the famous character in that game, you know what I mean? So, I would say, hey, if anything, they should put Asterion in the mix as well too, man. But Sid, how about you, man?
I'm going Astrobot, and the reason is this. So, this is the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation. They're celebrating 30 years this year. So from 1994 till this year. And I thought after 30 years, it's appropriate that Sony really found the mascot for the PlayStation, finally. For the longest time, the unofficial quote-unquote mascot was like Crash
Right.
Bandicoot. And, it's kind of, they've had some prolific characters from their first-party developers. You've had Kratos and you've had some others. And, there's been mixed success. But I think that finally they got really serious about embracing the idea of having a character that really is sort of their own embodiment that's on the level of like a Mario or a Sonic. And I think it's cool, and I love what they're doing with it. I mean, they've always had Astrobot as sort of like an ancillary character that they've used for like, just to do whatever smaller project, some giveaway thing like Playroom or these smaller like rescue mission and things like this, like to introduce the VR technology or the camera technology. And it's cool because that's the character you always sort of associate with like those introductions into like these newer technologies that highlight on each one of the newer PlayStation consoles. But for the first time, they're like, let's go all the way with this. And I loved the last Astrobot game. Because it just, I mean, it was emotional. Like, it was cool. Like, if you came up on the PlayStation, playing it through that and just walking through history and seeing everything and seeing the timeline of all the different consoles and accessories and things and seeing the technology, like, unfold in sort of that creative way, I thought was masterful. So it's neat to see this kind of come full circle. And it really is a parallel to Sony themselves and how far they've come, not just in the tech industry, but specifically the video game industry. So it's a cute character. I mean, the game is phenomenal. It plays wonderfully. Again, a character that doesn't have to say anything, but says everything. So I think it's a perfect mascot for Sony. I think it's really cool, how they've done this. He was like the sleeper character for the longest time. Now he's getting his due. So I'm a big fan, and these were all great. Like, I'm totally cool with Sonic, or I'm sorry if Shadow wins. I got love for Keanu, and I love the character in general, and plus having like a hit game and a hit movie in the same year certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would be fine with that one too. So yeah.
I love how the chat say, "Hey, we got to put the shark dog from Marvel Rivals, man, at this one too." That's
Jeff.
That's like
the
Jeff the shark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's definitely a sleeper character. But we have all the votes coming in as well too. We're gonna lock the votes down, and now we have our winner for best video game character of the year, and the winner of best video game character of the year is, oh boy, my God, Astrobot. That's crazy. Astrobot has won best video game character of the year. See, you know what though? You're right, because I honestly, dude, it is pretty much, it solidifies PlayStation's mascot, like really like the greatest mascot PlayStation has right now, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So big ups to PlayStation, big ups to Astrobot for winning best character of the year. Listen, phenomenal, man. Seriously, phenomenal. So that is amazing. So now we go into what we talked about earlier, video game movie and TV show of the year. Of course, video game movie adaptations of video games and TV adaptations, or video game adaptations of TV shows and movies have been prolific, especially in 2024. Listen, if you haven't catched the theaters as well too for your favorite video game movie, or of course your favorite subscription services like Netflix and Amazon Prime, we have a bunch of video game centric series that are out, man. We've been eating as far as watching our favorite video games for 2024, man. Like seriously, it is amazing. And 2025 just gets better, really, with what's going to come as well. But we have the 5 best video game movie / TV show of the year, and now the nominees are, as chat sees it first, the nominees are Arcane Season 2, League of Legends, Fallout, Secret Level, oh man, Sonic 3, and last but not least, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, of course out on Netflix. Those are your nominees for video game, movie, and TV show of the year. All right. Let's go around, man. Let's talk about it, because we got a lot to talk about as far as movies and TV shows, man. I mean, hey, what do we got? What do we got, guys? What do we got? Sif, how about you, man?
I think, look, I love Secret Level. I really do, because I've always been a fan of Tim Miller's work. Tim Miller, right? I got the name right. He did Love, Death, and Robots, and it continues his work there with Secret Level. For those of that haven't seen it, it's basically like an anthology series. Each episode is standalone, based on a different, video game or board game IP. And the episodes are anywhere from like maybe, I don't know, like 8 to 15 minutes long, somewhere in that realm. Yep. And it's short form, but
that Mega Man one was hot too. I ain't gonna lie.
Computer generated. Yeah, they're great. They're great for what they are.
Yeah,
they're fantastic. I love them, but it's also infuriating because they feel like teasers. They feel like opening cinematics to video games that we'll see someday in like the year 2030.
Yeah, true.
It entices you for something great, and then credits roll.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you had me at hello. Can we get more of this? So, like, to me, it's awesome. But, like, the Armored Core one with Keanu Reeves, I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
The Warhammer one was incredible. They were all pretty good in their own right. But I don't think, excuse me, guys, sorry. I don't know that I would put Secret Level over Fallout or Arcane. I think both of those are better. I haven't seen the newest Sonic movie yet, but I hear it's good. So that's all I got. I'm okay with either one of those.
Honestly, before we go to smoke, because I saw the movie 3 times already. Chat knows I've seen the movie 3 times. Got a privilege to see it during the press day. Sonic 3 is probably and it's hard. It's hard. I was telling Civ post on pre-show. I was telling Civ, I was like, dude, it is hard for a trilogy to have the 3rd movie to be like the best out of the whole series. It's hard. I can't even say that about Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even say it about the Star Wars, dude. It's hard, man. Sonic 3 killed it, man. It is probably, like I said, right now it just topped over 100 million domestic, box office and all that to domestic. It hasn't gone international yet. It's killing the holiday, movies. It's just crazy. So I mean, honestly, for what it is, man, it's just been amazing. Now, honestly, dude, Arcane and of course Secret Level was good, but Arcane, I won't put Secret Level or Arcane. I agree with you on that, Civ. I wouldn't do that. And then Tomb Raider was good too. Tomb Raider, Fallout was a great series. I ain't gonna lie, man. Fallout was amazing, but I gotta give it to Sonic 3. Sonic 3 was just phenomenal, man. So that's locked down for me, man. Smoke, how about you, man? What you been?
I'm going with Arcane, and then Sonic being a second. Even though Sonic, again, I know how popular it is. I know how well it's been doing in the box office. But Arcane, League of Legends, it's like a work of art. It's basically you're watching art come to life.
Yep.
And from the fight sequences, the storylines, characters, again, I'm like, the trailers that a lot of people didn't see that were extended, for the show, you can catch those on YouTube. Again, I have to go with Arcane, even though I know it's more likely not going to win. But again, I'm going with Arcane. I'm gonna stick by what I believe in.
Yeah, Arcane was, like I said, Arcane was great. Arcane was so great, man. It's just, oh my God. Like I said, it's just so much, man. Like I said, we've been eating as far as like fandoms go, man. With the series, the TV series, and the movies, man. But of course, like I said, I'm getting everybody's hitting me up with the DMs, man. Everybody in chat, man. We got our winner, and of course, the winner for best video game, movie, or TV show is Sonic 3. Sonic 3. Well, listen, man, it's hard to top. Mind you, man, like I said, it is insane as far as how Arcane is so good, and I agree with the chat. That especially with Donnie, he says Arcane Season 2 is so hard. It's hard to match the lore building. You're right. It's so crazy, but with the Sonic lore building, with the director actually handling that too. He's building his own lore for the Sonic, but kind of incorporate with the video games as well too. It's phenomenal, man. Like I said, we've been eating, man, as far as fans go, man. So congrats to Sonic 3 for winning best video game, movie, and TV show, man. Congrats to them, man. Listen, we're gonna definitely be tagging on Twitter as always, man. So now, and like I said, chat, you're doing a great job. Like I said, remember, keep on putting your votes in chat, man. Like I said, still hit me up in the DMs as well too, as everybody is. Definitely post your votes in chat for it to be counted as always, man. So now, we haven't really got anything big as far as consoles this year, but we can still recognize the best of the best that we've been playing for the all 2024 as far as consoles go, man. So now, do we have the nominees for best video game console of the year? And your nominees are, as chat sees it first, your nominees are Evercade, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Steam Deck, and last but not least, Xbox Series. So those are your nominees for best video game console of the year. And now let's take it to the panel. Honestly, let me chime in because I'll be short and sweet about that. Really, I want to say that I've been really playing, which is insane to be honest with you. I've been really playing my Switch a lot. Man. The Switch is phenomenal, man. I've been playing my Switch more than PS5, and I'll tell you why. Honestly, dude, it's the party games. It's the party games on the Switch, and it's a couple titles that got me hooked on the Switch as well too for this year. I'm not gonna say last year, but for this year, there's been a couple titles. I can say one is definitely Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Shout out to them for keeping me on the Switch and making my Switch relevant for this year. Of course, Super Mario Party Jamboree. I've been playing that with friends and family for majority of the time as well too. So I gotta say the Switch. The Switch has been phenomenal. The Switch is amazing. So Sith, how about you, man? What you think is the best console of the year?
I have a Switch. I have a Steam Deck equivalent. I have an Evercade. But of all these, yeah, I got to go to the PS5. Again, I think they did a lot of really good things this year. I mean, it was the only one out of these five nominees that actually did release a new console in the PS5 Pro. Whether you love it or hate it, whatever you think of the price point and things like that, I think that they just had a great year, not
Right.
just hardware wise, but software wise. On the hardware side, you had the PS Portal
Right.
that came out.
That's
That was a
right.
surprise hit. People loved it. You had that new accessibility controller that came out this year. You had a lot of new technology coming out. Games came out for the PS VR2.
Right.
The game list that came out, lots of original IPs, original games. I'm still loving PlayStation. I really am. And as time goes by, I just feel more positive about it. I'm not here to bash Xbox. I'm not a hater, but I will say this. Um, and we're going to get to the subject eventually, but I mean, I hate to say this, but it seems like Xbox has kind of given up.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, and they've said it. They've basically said, "Hey, like, we're gonna just start to lean into the PC thing here. We're gonna, slowly divert away from doing, console technology." So we've seen this on the horizon. I was a little surprised to see them actually say that, but
Mm-hmm.
we know we're gonna get a Switch 2 announcement, probably in the semi near future.
Oh,
I
for
mean, I'm
sure.
hoping. The Steam Deck is still amazing. Those handheld PCs, they're so fun. There's
Oh,
so much you can
of
do with them.
course. Of course.
The Evercade and their commitment to physical preservation of video games, that can never be understated. I know that they're not like, it's not the high tech stuff you get, but it's like if you want physical games, they had a great year. They came out with those like mini arcades. They came out with a brand new the handheld that's more
Mm-hmm.
cost effective, and so there's a lot of value in Evercade. But again, I love what PlayStation's doing. I know some people have
Yeah.
been out of shape about the price of the PS5 Pro. I get it. I
Yeah.
understand. We've talked it to death, but I played it. It is legit. So yeah, I'm still throwing my weight that way. I love the PS5.
All right. PS5 for Civ. Smoke. How about you, man?
I'm going with Steam Deck. Again, PlayStation 5 is doing this thing. Same with the Xbox, for better for worse. Steam Deck, because of the fact you can play independent games, console games. You can play games that you normally wouldn't get on console that you get a chance to play on Steam Deck, and some of them are retro games and all.
Mm-hmm.
They're affordable, and you can take it anywhere. You can hook it up to your TV and still play it on a big screen. So Steam Deck won me over. I'm looking forward to getting the next version of it. And again, there's some great games that like I just discovered, and I'm like, wow. So yeah, I'll say Steam Deck for me.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that. And Chat's been chiming in as far as her thoughts. And Dad Master on Twitch says Fortnite, MLB, NBA, and that stuff on the Switch. And you have the Mario games and all that. New games are great, so the Switch should win, in his opinion, for sure, man. Because yeah, I mean, now it's a lot of big games that are kind of being ported to the Switch for people that want to try it out, for themselves. Yeah, so it's just been a lot. Donnie says that the Sony's been selling consoles like left and right for sure, so we can see like the business side about that is, but yeah, we had, it's a lot going on as far as like with console wars is still not really console wars, but it's, the business of these consoles really selling out, or selling this year still is kind of, it's relatable right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we still seeing, so if you already brought it up, like the PS Pro is selling. You know what I mean? The Switch is still selling. Parents are still getting, giving kids Switch for Christmases and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's Xbox. Again, Xbox, we not sure because again, it's no point in buying an Xbox console right now. Now that they're kind of dying or not dying, but like kind of giving up as far as the exclusivity.
And just as of last week, I think that they announced that the Nintendo Switch has officially outsold the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
So it is now officially the best-selling video game console of all time.
Right.
That is impressive.
It's
That's
insane.
impressive. You can never, like when you start talking about hundreds of millions of consoles sold globally, that's incredible. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Nintendo knows what they're doing.
Absolutely. And like I said, even the chat says, I still rock with my Xbox going back to my Gears of War days at the end of a year nostalgia tour. I feel that, yeah. So it's still used for the Xbox for sure. For those that are Xbox fanatics, yeah, you listen. And right now, the Game Pass is pretty much holding Microsoft tight, as far as the video game, industry goes, man. The Game Pass is still phenomenal. If we count the Game Pass, man, then I'm like, oh, hands down, Game Pass would be, Game Pass for PC or just Game Pass for the Xbox. Yeah, Game Pass is holding it down 100%. But as far as the console goes, it's just, like I said, it's we wish that Xbox still had a fight in them, man. As far as exclusivity, man, they would kind of make it relevant.
But we talked about this. It's not about them losing. I think that we talked about this months ago, and I think I'm one of us had brought this up. I think it was me, but I'm not quite sure. But
Right.
we started talking about, there was a chatter within the industry about like these exclusive games from Xbox being eventually available on PlayStation hardware. We started talking about Forza,
Right.
and somebody brought up Gears of War and Halo, and there's whispers around the industry like they're working on these things, and I started to sit there and go, uh-oh, like this really looks like, and like you said, with Game Pass, it's a double-edged sword. Now they changed some things with Game Pass this year and made it a little less alluring, but it's still great. It's a great program, but it just seems like Microsoft is kind of doing almost like what Sega did years ago. And almost lean more into like the software side and being a developer, as opposed to saying, hey, we're going to create hardware. And Microsoft's not a dumb company. They know what they're doing. It's not like they're getting crushed in the industry. I mean, I don't think that they are as economically viable as Sony in the game market.
Right.
And that's not a slight, but I'm just saying, I think that they know where their slice of the pie is. And if they really want to focus on that and they lay that out, and in 2025, that's what they go with and move forward with that. So basically, if they want to start doing software and developing on that side and making it available on other platforms, including PC, it's a huge win for them. It's a huge win for Nintendo, one less competitor, and it's a huge win for Sony because they're going to receive a lot of that. Yeah, I think everybody kind of sees the writing on the wall. I don't think there's a need for 3 console developers at this point, especially when a lot of stuff's cross-play now. I mean, there's nothing in it for one of them was gonna blink first.
Yeah,
and it kind of does make sense. It's Microsoft.
Right.
They're going to be the one. So yeah, it's not of any surprise or anything. But yeah, we'll see what the future brings.
That's true. Yeah, like I said, now as kind of people geared towards just playing everything on PC now, man. It's like oh, okay, you know what? We can play all this, play anything, PlayStation, Nintendo games, Xbox games on PC. Why not? Like I said, that's another factor that we can we can definitely address. But of course, we have tallied the votes, and your best video game console of the year for 2024 is the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch congratulations, Nintendo Switch, for winning 2024 Best Console of the Year. Rightly so. Like I said, Nintendo has been consistent, as far as their business practices goes, man. So, shout out to Nintendo for doing that. Nintendo has acquired our 2024 Passies. So big ups to Nintendo. Big ups to them, man. Now, we have our wow moments. Now, wow moments is pretty much just moments that shocked all of us in the video game community. There's been a lot of things that's happened in 2024 that mind's been blown, that we didn't think was going to happen, that happened. These are the wow moments of 2024. And the nominees are: 1, Disney making $1.5 billion investment in Epic Games. That's crazy. 2, the animation of Black Myth Wukong. 3rd, the announcement of Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet from Naughty Dog. That was actually a good trailer at the end of the Game Awards. 4, Microsoft officially announces future plans to divert away from console gaming. We just talked about that earlier. And last but not least, Balatro nominated for Game of the Year and winning 3 awards despite the game being made by a single indie developer. Those are your wow moments of 2024. I gotta really chime in on this, man, because I'm a disciple of Balatro, man. Out of all this, I mean, honestly, dude, we could talk about, like, the biggest wow moment for me, like I said, was Microsoft kind of like, saying like we're kind of done a little bit, man. But I'm on the side of like the indie developer, and for one guy to make such a game that has a cultural impact in this year to come out with 3 awards, it's like, dude, if one guy can do it, oh, dude, any of us can do it if we put our minds to it, man. One guy can come out and was so close to winning Game of the Year at the Game Awards for sure, man, which was phenomenal, man. So like, big shout out to Belatro for kind of pulling it through. You know what I'm saying? Again, just one guy. That's awesome, man. You can imagine just any other games he puts out, man. It's going to be just pure. It's like a passion project. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how long he's fixed on Belatro as far as he making it, man. It could have been a year. We've seen developers do for 2-3 years. You know what I mean? It's a passion project for certain games, but man, I mean, Belatro we can see the beautiness and the art of Belatro, man. It's such I'm still hooked on this game. Like seriously, I'm still hooked on this game. It's amazing. Sif, how about you, man?
All right. So of these, I mean, Disney staking 1.5 billion in Epic Games is huge. But then it makes me wonder how's that going to affect other IPs under the Disney umbrella? I mean, is that going to affect Marvel games? Is that going to affect, you know what I mean? Like the 20th Century Fox IPs, they picked up those games. I mean, is it like, I guess I just want to know more about it. I think that the details weren't exactly comprehensive. So yeah, I think there's a lot. I mean, $1.5 billion stake is pretty big. That's awesome. So yeah, we'll see what that brings. I mean, Disney's kind of hit or miss sometimes with these kinds of things. I mean, I'm not one of those fanboys who I'm like, woohoo, Disney. But I think they're learning. I think they're getting better with time, like, picking their fights and knowing where they're, again, that slice of the pie, proverbial slice of the pie. So we'll see. Of all these things, man, Belatro being nominated for Game of the Year, you talk about a Rocky story. That's the one right there. I mean, I'm impressed when one person can do that and pull that off. That's probably about as impressive as it can get.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one for me, and the other one is the announcement of Intergalactic. Heretic Prophet for a couple of reasons. So we haven't talked about that game yet. This is the first mention that we've
right
about it. So the Game Awards came in between our last episode and this episode, so we haven't had time to really talk about this. But I love that they saved it for last. I love that Naughty Dog swings for the fences. I'm glad that they don't pander to pressures in the industry about what they, what is and what is not acceptable so far as games go.
Right.
Because there's never this sort of like either support on a ravenous level or hatred on a despicable level when it comes to doing something that's new and unique. I applaud them for doing it. I'm glad they don't bow to, the haters. It's the most talked about game in the world right now.
Right.
It is. And it hasn't, we've seen an intro sequence and maybe 3 whole seconds of actual gameplay. And it's just the hashtag Intergalactics off the freaking charts.
Yeah.
And I love that Naughty Dog knows what they're doing. Naughty Dog just know how to make a bad game. Every game Naughty Dog's ever made, whether it was a Jack and Daxter, whether it was a Crash Bandicoot, going back, The Last of Us. I mean, dude, what do you want? They're basically batting 1,000. They've never made a bad game. They've never made anything less than basically a perfect game. I'm serious.
Yeah,
they're probably like they're up there with Rockstar. Like honestly, like they just can't make a bad game. It's uncanny. So yeah, I know the culture at Naughty Dog is sometimes, we question it and everybody's got opinions about what goes on in that studio, and I get it. I understand all that. But whether it's good press or bad press, it's a lot of press. Everybody's talking about it. I'm excited for it, and I'm already making a prediction. That game will be Game of the Year. It's getting a Game Award.
Yeah.
Probably,
for sure.
either the Game Awards are probably here. I mean, it just looks fantastic.
For sure.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know any more about it than any other person. We've all seen what we saw. It looks phenomenal. But for me, when I watched it, I literally, and I'm not just saying this like, just to kind of, you say your jaw drops when you see something, and it's a figurative way. I sat there and I literally was like, wow, look where we are. Look at what our games look like now. Like everybody else is freaking out about it. They're upset because how a character looks or something. Like I'm sitting there like this is
Right,
gorgeous. My
right,
God,
right.
look at what games look like these days. This is insane.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for it. I wish it nothing but the best. And for me, that's my pick.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. Smoke, man. I don't know if you're still
Yeah,
here. Yep.
yeah, I'm right here.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Yeah, for me, it would have to be for me because again, I'm just not impressed with certain things, and I'm not one to hold my tongue. Now, I am looking forward to the Heretic because again, it was inspired by Cowboy Bebop, was one of the inspirations for this game, so I'm looking forward to it. But I have to say, again, I wasn't so caught up in the politics of the industry because until you show me on paper that it's going to happen, to me, all they're doing is throwing stuff out there in the atmosphere just to see how people are going to react. People are going to make videos on it and all that stuff. And
Right.
I'm like, look, the proof is in the pudding. Show me what you got.
Right.
Show me what you got. So for right now, like something simple as just watching and like for Black Myth Wukong, for a game that come out with every time you complete a chapter, you have different animators doing something that was the theme of that chapter.
Right.
On each level that you played a Black Myth Wukong, you got all these different animators from different forms of animation, from claymation to puppetry to hardcore animation. From painting like animation, it was really phenomenal. And some of its stuff pulled at the heartstrings from the music and everything else. So those were some wild, that was a wild moment for me as far as video games are concerned. Not so much the industry and everything else. There were a lot of great moments that came across, but if you're talking to me about video games, something that wowed me, something that caught my attention for me to continue on playing and motivated me to play, that right there alone motivated me to play even further because I wanted to see all and there's one that you have to unlock. If you unlock that, you get this complete backstory and all. So again, yeah, for me, it was the animation for Black Myth Wukong.
Nice. Okay.
Simple as that.
Yeah, that is absolutely fair. That is absolutely fair. And definitely, like I said, it's been a lot of great moments, man, especially this year goes, man, which is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, we can see that the industry is kind of like on this rise. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what 2025 brings. But what we just been discussing is like a lot of promise, especially for we talk about the animation or we talk about acquisitions and, just development, man, with the power of even just one person, man. It's been such a phenomenal year, man. Like I can't wait to see what 2025 brings. But of course, there can only be one winner, and the winner for best wow moment is Balatro, coming in strong, of course, nominated for Game of the Year and winning 3 awards, despite the game being made by a single indie developer. Big ups to Balatro for winning that award, man. Congratulations, Balatro. Listen, like I said, that's just phenomenal. The way the culture has, it's just the way the video game culture just pretty much surrounded Balatro this year, man. It's all because of one guy, man. It's amazing. Amazing. So big shout out to the developers with the developer for Balatro for winning that for sure. But of course, with everything big happening for 2024, there's always a low. There's always some screw up, some F up, man, something messed up, man, somebody, straight crap the bucket, man, what have you. So we have the 5 worst or the flub of the year, man, which is of course, just the
Well, Nuts, before you go any further, I do want to throw in an honorable mention because it wasn't mentioned on thing.
Oh yeah.
Put on there. We're going to start off just to give an honorable mention to Borderlands, the Borderlands.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there because I was looking forward to seeing it, and I was so disappointed.
I know.
I was so disappointed.
I know. We was
Kevin Hart. That's all I'm going to say. 2 words, Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that was a flub. Even though that's not part of the nominees, but that was definitely a flub for sure.
Yeah.
So now the 5 nominees.
You know what? I'm so happy he even mentioned that because I completely shut that out. Like I hated it so much that I actually forgot. That's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I totally would have put that as a nominee for this. I
Yeah.
really would have. So that's
Listen,
amazing.
in our hearts,
Yeah.
that's a horrible movie, man. But
Yeah.
of course, the 5 on record nominees for the flub of the year is number 1. GameStop abruptly cancels Game Informer magazine. Of course, for all of us that are Game Informer readers, of course, this is we love getting a physical copy of Game Informer. Well, GameStop stopped that, man. That's been a heartbreaker for a lot of us. Number 2, massive industry layoffs, approximately 15,000, and developers closing shop, over 6,000, man. So of course, we always care for our workers in the video game industry, man, trying to find work and get a job. Especially, it's hard. But those massive layoffs be always a roadblock, man. So we think about those who are still looking for work in the video game industry. Number 3, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. That was a horrible game.
Yes.
That was a horrible game.
Garbage.
That was a whack game. So that's number 3. 4, Sparking Zero. Honestly, I don't know. Sparking Zero was okay. I mean, I know they had certain things that was like a little bit impossible to go forward, but we'll talk about that later on. And of course, our 5th nominee is Concord. Those are your nominees for best flub or best whack moment of the year. Let's talk about that. Smoke, man. What you got, man?
Oh, you know what? I was going to say the Suicide Squad was up there because people put out money.
Yeah.
One of them. I was a hardcore Arkham fan and still am, but Suicide Squad does not exist. Then they had the nerve by the end of this year, after the game sucked, they had the nerve to say, "Well, the Justice League aren't really dead," and it was all a mix-up, and they're trying to backtrack now, Warner Brothers and everything else. But with that being said, I got to give it to Concord because Concord.
Oh my God!
Biggest, now even though Secret Level showed the video, I think if they had came out with that video first, I think it would have had a chance. It would have had legs to stand on because you had like a premise. From what they put out as far as a trailer, they gave everyone the impression that this is like a Guardians of the Galaxy style game mixed with what's his name? We just talked about the game earlier, not Marvel Rivals, but the game that was inspired by Marvel Rivals.
Overwatch.
Yeah. And it was so just when Overwatch first came out, before they even came out, when they were putting out the video, the animation and all, that's what motivated me to get the game.
Yeah.
And in this case with Concord, they put out one trailer that really wasn't appealing to me.
Right.
It oozed Guardians of the Galaxy. And not saying I didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. But I'm like, come on. But then when they did the thing on Secret Level and they gave you more of a story in the background, it was like, well, damn, why couldn't they just put this out and have everybody? That would have made me say, let me check out the game. Because, okay, I like what they were selling. The movie they showed in Secret Level, the episode they had, was a good episode.
Right.
Unfortunately, a little bit too late. It came a little bit too late after the game sucked, and it's sad. But listen, they're going to. It was a wake up call, and maybe they learned something from it. PlayStation, Sony learned something from it. But I feel bad for the people behind the game. They put their hearts and soul. That game was what they were working on that game for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, I feel bad for the
$400
game
million.
designers. Yeah, so that's
$400 million.
so that's the sad part about it. Like, I feel bad for the developers behind the game because I know they put their hearts and soul into it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, you're always going to have someone who's going to try to throw in politics in video games and all. And I've said this before. Don't so much throw politics in the game. Let the game speak for itself. Let the game go on its own merits and not try to influence by saying, look, we got this kind of character or that kind of character. Just just tell a good story and let the game, go where it needs to take you. There are other games that are out that didn't have to push that, and those games did good.
Right.
So you don't have to. So I gotta say, unfortunately, Concord is the one to me that is going to probably win this one.
Okay. Okay. Siv, how about you?
Well, all right. I'm going to go just through the list here briefly. I'm going to start from the last to first. So,
Mm-hmm.
Concord, yeah, it sucked $400 million, 10 years of development down the tubes. The developers, they're out of business. They're done.
Right.
That sucks, but they will move on. Sparking Zero, I don't have an opinion. Suicide Squad, we all saw it coming. It was going to
It
suck.
was whack. Yeah.
The two biggest, I don't even know that I would call them flubs. That almost seems like a diminutive, dismissive, way of describing these things. For me, these are travesties. These don't deserve awards. These are like
Mhm.
these are badges of freaking dishonor.
Yeah.
Um, and it kind of I don't know, man. Look, I work. Let's talk about these two. It's between the massive industry layoffs
Mm-hmm.
or GameStop abruptly canceling Game Informer. I know you don't think it doesn't sound that bad when you think, oh, it's just a magazine. Print media is dying. But that's the point,
Mm-hmm.
is that Game Informer magazine, for those who don't know, it was around for 33 years. It had a subscription rate of over 8 million people.
Mm-hmm.
For a print media magazine, 8 million people circulation, that's huge. It was widely regarded as probably like one of the finest, longest running video game publications in existence. It had, nonpartisan reviews. It had a lot of information. It was well written. The quality was there. I loved it. It was literally the only reason why I was like, pro member of GameStop. I collected those magazines. I still have them. Um, Out of the blue, they just canceled it. They just basically like said one day, we're closing shop.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an issue in progress. They had one that was going to go to press, and they were ready to publish it, and GameStop said no. So it pisses me off from a consumer standpoint because I really liked having that product. That was something that was sold to me from GameStop as a perk, not a perk, but a feature of being a pro member. Like I
Right.
paid for a subscription and they basically said no. But what bothers me even more is that this idea that all of a sudden like print media is not necessary. Okay, well then don't print it. Just make it digital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It was available digital. I opted for print. Digitally publishing something costs nothing. Okay? It just costs a little bit of time. You publish it digitally, whatever. It's easy enough. They could have just translated it to that for a while and see how that played out. But no, they said no more. Now, those people lost their jobs. Those are a lot of fine journalists. I know some of them. I've
Mm-hmm.
worked with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm friends with some of them. And it's a big burn. It sucks because there is only now, I think, one video game magazine left in existence. And it's the one that I currently write for.
Yeah,
It's Old
right,
School
right.
Gamer Magazine.
Right.
That's the only one I could think of. So what? I mean, are we next? I mean, it sucks. I'm not a fan of this at all. Um, but I think what dwarfs everything is when you talk about over 6,000 individual industry related video game developer shops.
Mm-hmm.
Individual companies, 6,000 have gone under. 15,000 layoffs. These are real people.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about times are tough and things like this. It's like, man, like what is going on? Now, I don't see, like, I'm not one of those, uh, you know, I just, I'm not like anti-authoritarian by nature. I don't go after leadership just because they're in charge, but I think bad leadership needs to be held accountable,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's the video game industry or whether it's the healthcare industry. I think we're starting to see a come up. It's in this country about like people who are becoming more aware of people who make, a lot of money paid to make big decisions and they make repeatedly the wrong decisions. And thus they jeopardize, the integrity of their own company. So for me, if they want to wear this badge of dishonor, I would very gladly give this award to all those who led their companies and employees down the path where now all of a sudden they find themselves unemployed.
Yeah.
And it sucks because these CEOs get golden parachutes. They don't lose a thing. So oftentimes they get more money by closing their companies.
Right.
They win, everybody else loses. So F them. I hate that it's this way. Our industry now has had this happen. I think it's been at least 2 or 3 years, but this year's definitely been the worst as far as I can remember. It's terrible. It's annoying. I realize there's always market volatility with different things, but the video game industry makes more money
Mm-hmm.
than the TV industry, or TV, radio, movies,
Yep.
every
combined,
other,
dude.
every other form of media added up does not even come close to the financial stability and the financial lucrative level that video games produce. So
Exactly.
this whole idea, like, we're going broke, it's so hard. Like, no, you're making billions, billions of dollars. So
Yeah.
if you are mismanaging yourself and you've found yourself in a situation now where, you're not profitable anymore, and basically you're just going to get rid of your employees and say adios, man, you deserve the badge of dishonor. So that you could take this passy and you could just shove it up your ass.
Nah, I agree. I totally agree because I do care for the workers of the industry as well too, man. Like, the biggest flub is, like I said, you put yourself in your shoes, in their shoes. You know what I'm saying? If you was like, making a project and you don't know if your job is guaranteed, even, saying like, oh, we made a great game, but it doesn't see expectations, or the company, the company say, oh, it doesn't see expectations, and all of a sudden you're canned, but you made a great game, it just didn't hit that specific number, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's screwed up, That's really screwed up for the workers, man. And it's hard out here economically, man. So, for a lot of people that are striving for, jobs and trying to get jobs, especially in the video game industry, it's a questionable territory, It's really questionable because, again, no matter how much you work hard, strive, and put out a polished product, it doesn't mean you're going to clock in the next day. And
Hi-Fi Rush last year had one of the best games.
Yep.
Hi-Fi Rush was one of the best games last year, came out by Arcane Studios, and that same studio got shut down
That's
this
what
year.
I'm saying. It's like, imagine you being a worker. It's like, yo, this game is hot. You put it out there. The world loves it. And all of a sudden, like, I got to lay you off, man. What you mean? We just put out a greatest game ever, dude. Like, dog. Now, I mean, like, seriously, it's wild. It's so wild because why? You know what I mean? So I got to definitely do that too, man. Of course, Chad feels the same way. It's really been questionable as far as, video game industry goes, man. But, of course, there can only be one loser because there's no winners and flubs, man. There can only be one loser in this category of flub of the year, and that is absolutely it's the massive industry layoffs, man. So big, whoop or whoop, whatever, womp womp to the that as far as the economy goes, man. Listen, industry better. You could do better. You know what I'm saying? Industry.
And it's one thing to have a bad game.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's fun to beat up on games like Concord and Suicide Squad. Every year we have a bad game or two that comes out that everybody wants to beat up. But man, a bad game is a bad game. But a bad business practice affects humans, lives, families. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, these are games, but it's very serious. It's like, people's livelihoods depend on this stuff. And imagine just doing as somebody who has been laid off, I know the pain of working your ass off for something, and then one day you just be like, bye.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
Thanks.
Believe me,
I mean?
I've been in this shoes too.
It feels like a kick in the ass. It's not fun. And I really wish more gamers would rally around this cause and really start to ask the big questions like why and what can be done about this. Because, if you throw everybody under the bus, we're going to have 1983 all over again.
Yeah.
It's going to be a plummet in quality. It's going to be a market collapse. It's going to suck. We actually are closer to that than you probably think.
Yeah.
Because right now everybody's talking about like, let's stop making AAA games. Look at Ubisoft right now. They're basically done.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything really.
It's like done.
Right, you're right.
Because you can't keep making crappy games for a lot of money, treating your employees like crap, and gamers like crap.
Yep.
Ubisoft is, they're terrible. Their business practices are awful. They're basically, hanging on by a thread. So
that's true.
It's like, you guys better get serious about this stuff. Don't think that just because you're riding high one day, you can fall the next day. You really can. That's how this industry is.
Listen, that's why we applaud every time, if a group of people have been unionized, you know what I'm saying? It's just a really a one step closer, man, for everybody getting having secure, employment, you know what I'm saying? So
amen.
Unionize, man. Listen, unionize, man. Please, you know what I'm saying? All for the union. As always, man. So forget that. That's the flub of the year. Listen, we don't care about that, but it's always a feel-good moment, man. Wherever there's bad stuff that's happening in the world, in the video game industry, there's always something that just warms our hearts as well for this year. And there's been a few things that have warmed our heart, which is phenomenal. And we talked about this before early on, so hopefully you caught one of the nominees. But we got 5 nominees for Best Feel-Good Moment of 2024. Just gives you that breath of fresh air, right? Here's our nominees for Best Feel-Good Moment of 2024. 1, Call of Duty is back. Black Ops 6 exceeds players' expectations. Number 2, PUBG owner Krafton acquiring both Hi-Fi Rush IP and his Japanese studio, Tango Gameworks. So PUBG owner Krafton saving Hi-Fi Rush and Tango Gameworks, man, and hopefully we get another Hi-Fi Rush 2. We'll see. 3, Harrison Ford comes out as guest presenter at the Game Awards, which was so awesome to see Harrison Ford on stage, man, next to Troy Baker, man. It was so cool. 4, Balatro emerges out of nowhere and demonstrates the power and potential of indie gaming. And we always talk about indie gaming, praising indie gaming, and Balatro is such a sediment to that. And of course, 5th, and our final nominee, GOG pledges to keep all games running, even in light of DRM restrictions. Those are your 5 feel-good moments of 2024. Let's talk about what made us feel good. You know what? Let me start right here real quick, because honestly, I kind of want to chime in real quick. Again, PUBG owner just swooping in and saying, like, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Saving Tango Gameworks, saving Hi-Fi Rush, because I love Hi-Fi Rush. When that game came out, man, it was so phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And Tango Gameworks was in my radar as favorite developer as well, too. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite developers. You know, so I'm glad Krafton's like, you know what, we'll take care of you guys. You know, come on in, make Hi-Fi Rush 2, which hopefully we should have later. Hi-Fi Rush 2 later on in the upcoming years, for sure. But it's such a pleasure to really have your job saved. So I got to go with PUBG owner Krafton, coming in and saving the day and keeping Tango Gameworks open for business, man. Sif, how about you, man?
Oh boy, there's a lot of good ones here. I'm leaning towards you. I really do like that. They came in and I feel like did justice to avert a great injustice in the industry, because as much as I felt that it was a travesty about all these layoffs and closures and developers going under, it's always nice to see a good guy win, and I thought that they definitely deserved that, and I thought it was really cool of Krafton to take interest. They listened to the people out there. They knew a good product when they saw it. It annoys me that there weren't more studios and developers, or rather publishers, clamoring to get them. It should have been a bidding war. Seriously. Like, I can't even believe it took as long as it did.
Right.
Like, it should never happen. So it's really, for me, it's between that. I really did like Harrison Ford coming out.
Harrison Ford was good, too.
because
Chad said the same thing. Yep.
Every time I know it sounds corny, but like when you see somebody like Keanu Reeves come out in person and say, I'm going to take some time to hype up this project I'm working on. Like, it has my blessing. Like, I love Cyberpunk, right? So when Keanu came out,
you're breathtaking. Yeah.
When Al Pacino came out and did a
That's
presentership,
right.
it gives some legitimacy to an industry that I feel still does not get the recognition.
Facts.
And to have a legendary actor like Harrison Ford, I'm not. He's as close to like a top. He's like an S tier actor in my opinion.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love Harrison Ford.
Absolutely.
I love Keanu Reeves. I love Al Pacino. So those 3 guys that come on like the Game Awards and do this stuff in these press junkets, I think it's amazing. Even if he didn't star in the game, even if he didn't voice it, he was putting his stamp of approval on something, and it makes me like, I wanted to play the new Indiana Jones game a lot.
Good. It's so good.
And now I'm kind of sitting here like, man, this just looks so cool. Everything I've heard about it's fun. So that one is a feel good moment for me too. Balatro, I still could say that's a potential. This one's so tough for me. Feel good moment of the year. Damn.
What made you feel good?
Oh,
the
you know
most?
what? You're gonna think I'm crazy. I think I'm gonna go with Balatro. It's the definition of a feel good story.
Yes, right.
It's like one. It demonstrates the power of one, and I think no other time in human history is that power so desperately needed in the society in which we live. When one person really can say, "I can make a difference." I can make something that gets acknowledged. I have the power to stand out. I can, against these quad A studios who have billions upon billions of dollars worth of ad revenue and marketing and development and campaigns and backing and investors.
Yep.
One person can make a game that is arguably one of the best games of the year, maybe one of the best games ever. And it reminds me of Tetris. The
Right.
Balatro story is very much like a modern day Tetris story where, Alexei Pajitnov had this idea for a basic type of game. And it's so fun and it's so addictive. And you're sitting there and you're kicking yourself in the butt thinking like, why didn't I think of this? This is so cool. It's so
Right.
basic, it's so accessible. It's so universally fun. So again, it's not just a stamp of approval on the game and saying Balatro is fun. It's saying that the story of its creation and what it inspires, I think, is so great for the indie game industry. So, I think I'm going to go that. I think I'm going to go that way.
Yeah,
I really am.
I do feel you. Like I said, I'm gonna keep my PUBG owner crap. This is so good. Like I said,
they're all good.
Yeah, but
like
again, with Balatro, like it's like one guy against armies and armies of teams and teams of workers, man. But one guy just like with a passion project, man, making this thing. And again, that's an inspiration for all of us, that are into like creating games. All of us, man, can actually do something. You know what I'm saying? If it takes one person, like the guy that made Balatro, to actually, make a cultural impact, again, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? As one
Do we
person.
even know this person? They're anonymous, correct?
I think they're anonymous.
So we don't know. This could be a female developer. We do not know, do we?
True. Yeah. It just goes by. So I think Balatro's developer.
They refer to him as him, but they are
right.
Local
So it's
Thunk.
Local Thunk, but we don't know if it's a he or she. It's just Local Thunk. You know what I'm saying? Could be like a gamer tag or something like that.
I always see them referred to as he, but I don't know.
But we don't know.
If that's something that I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But sure, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Hey, I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. But that's a good one. That's
I
a
never
good one,
assume.
though. That's a good one, though. Smoke. How about you, man? What
I'm just going to go with Harrison. There were a lot of great moments. For me, it just stood out with Harrison Ford. As someone who's played the game, loves the game.
Yes.
It really caught me by surprise. And then when I found out that it was Troy Baker's voice, and I'm like, man, Harrison Ford. I said they really did a good job. And when I found out it was Troy Baker, that really made me want the game more.
Right.
And then Harrison Ford coming out, giving his blessing. Again, if you haven't played the game, it is a very pleasant surprise. I was very, 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 very impressed. Still playing the game and just sitting there like, wow, this is the Indiana Jones movie we should have gotten. So, and I mean, seriously, Harrison Ford, with his stamp of approval on it, it was like, hey, if I'd known, I would have, I was listening.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, but it's a great game. So it hits all the, I know we're going to go back and revisit. I don't want to say too much, but again, that was a feel good moment for a lot of different reasons. And the kid in me, when I grew up on, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Harrison Ford was part of my childhood growing up since the 70s, 80s, 90s, and so forth. He was part of my childhood growing up. So again, that was a really cool moment to see,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. That's definitely a good point. Because again, like I said, the one thing with Harrison Ford, man, when he looked at Troy Baker and he says like, this guy did a great job, and he looked at him, it's like, I was like, yo, Troy.
That was a sincere moment too.
That was
you could tell when people are faking it, and Harrison Ford is a real dude. Like if he really didn't want to be there, and if they just dragged him out, I've seen Harrison Ford do interviews that he clearly didn't want to do.
Yeah,
and he's very like he'll phone it in.
Yeah,
but he was there at the Game Awards. He looked like he was having fun. I think he really clicked with Troy Baker. Troy Baker was super humble about it, and it was just cool to see. Like I really enjoyed that moment. I don't know, it really got me. I'm glad.
A lot of people don't know that Troy talked about this in his interview that he did not want to do Indiana Jones because he didn't think he would do a good job. He didn't think he would be
right.
And he said, "Look, I'm gonna give you 2 other people I'm gonna recommend, and if they don't do good, come back and we can talk." And I know the game designers were like, "No, we want you." And basically, he came in and did his thing and all. And he killed it. I mean, you play the game, it's like you're watching a movie. Seriously, it's that good. It's that good.
Absolutely. So, like I said, we've been spoiled as far as a lot of great moments for 2024. But of course, there can only be one winner, and that winner for best feel good moment of the year for 2024 is Balatro emerging as the greatest. Listen, first, here's the thing: Balatro emerging right now out of nowhere and demonstrating the power of indie potential of indie gaming. Man, it's just the best thing. Again, the chat has recognized that, man, and I've seen that. We can see a lot of things that can happen in the future for indie gaming to come forward. We always, and I think chat for chat is. They see a lot of good indie games, man, that can actually go toe-to-toe with a lot of AAA games, you know what I'm saying? And so now with Balatro actually kind of, proving that, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, you know what I'm saying? So congratulations to Balatro, giving us that feel-good moment of the year for 2024. All right. Now, we're halfway, man, through this Game Awards, man. And again, chat, like I said, make sure that you want to count your votes. You can always count your votes in chat. Man, you can always DM me if you want to be anonymous and all that too. But definitely chime in with what you feel is the best, nominee or the best nominee for each category.
Rock the vote.
Listen, rock the vote, because it's like I said, this game show award is all about you. But now we get to the category which is very personal for us. Very personal for us. It's deep down in our heart. If you have been a fan for Pass Controller for years, you know that we have some high moments. Actually, we had a lot of high moments, to be honest with you. A crazy amount of high moments, So now we're going to kind of really pinpoint some of those high moments of 2024. This is the category.
When you say high moments, I'm like,
high moments.
That's high moments, bro.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we was. Not those high moments, but you know what I mean. Listen, this is the PTC, the Pass Controller Show Moments of the Year. Now, again, if you was here, if you've been rocking with us for all 12 episodes of PTC for this year, man, you would know some of these moments that we're going to drop. Here is our nominees for PTC Show Moment of the Year. 1. The infamous Mega Ran drops exclusive news about upcoming musical releases. We had Mega Ran on, I think it was, what month was that? That was...
3 months ago, I think?
3 months ago, yeah. It was about 3 months ago. Mega Ran is pretty much a hip-hop artist, man. I mean, he's a video game, hip-hop phenomenon. You see him at a lot of conventions, man, and he drops some great news. Matter of fact, if you want to see the episode, we have an episode logged into our YouTube account as well, too, on our Facebook as well.
Awesome.
It's amazing. Go rewatch that episode. So that's 1. Mega Man drops exclusive news about upcoming music releases. 2, very in-depth interview with the legendary Phil Lamar. If you don't know who Phil Lamar is, oh my God, Phil Lamar was a phenomenal guest. Of course, we have that episode as well, too, in our VODs on YouTube as well as Facebook. Man, check that out. You cannot miss that. Phil Lamar was great to talk to. Oh my God, we gotta have him back, yo. Seriously.
No doubt.
For real. Number 3, hosting multiple celebrity panels at this year's Too Many Games convention. Now, we've done as a collective group, we've done for Too Many Games. If you don't know, Too Many Games is a Northeast convention, video game convention, one of the biggest conventions in the Northeast for video games. And they had phenomenal guest lists. They had the cast of Baldur's Gate 3. And I showed y'all a few of the interviews on our streams as well, too. So you got to see that. And then, of course, they had the Pokemon voice actors. They had the Sonic voice actors as well, too. It was just amazing, So shout out to Too Many Games, man, for, having us to moderate a lot of these amazing panels. If you want to check them out, too, you can also check them out on our YouTube channel. As well as the Too Many Games. So shout out to Too Many Games. I want to put their YouTube as well too. So either go to our YouTube channel or go to Too Many Games YouTube channel to check out the full panels of each of those amazing interviews with those phenomenal voice actors and actresses. It's awesome. So that's number 3. 4, I don't know why you put this on here.
I had to put this on. It's awesome. It's awesome.
The 4th nominee is McNucks, me, beating Civic Minded in a very close Pokken tournament at Idealistic Con. shout out to Ideal Tone. Ideal Tone, we want to get him on the show as well too real soon. But listen, me and Civ represented PTC at Idealisticon, man. It's a small convention, really fun convention. I cannot wait for that to pop up soon as well too. They had a video game tournament for Pokken. I don't know if anybody plays Pokken, but Pokken is awesome. And so a lot of people was in the bracket, man. And of course, me and Civ were in the finals. So it's like brother against brother, man. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh my God, what? It's like, oh man, it's one of those, Mufasa Scar kind of moments. I don't know how I compare it to that, but it was awesome. It was so awesome, man. And facing off against Civ was phenomenal. And of course, I came out with I don't know why you put that in.
But
Awesome.
the build-up was amazing.
It was amazing.
You had first of all, we picked the same character. We were both Machamp. We had people just screaming their heads off.
Yep.
Everybody was so into it. It was insane. And then it goes to the very last round of the very last match, best out of 3. So it couldn't have been any closer.
That was on point.
And so the place went nuts. It was almost like the Daigo parry.
Yeah. That's right.
It was like the rap battle scene from the end of 8 Mile. It was just this epic thing. I thought it was amazing. I was so happy you won too, because I was like, dang, this is close. But
it was crazy, man. Like I said, it was just a fun match. I haven't played Pokken in such a long time, but it was fun.
It was awesome.
Like I said, it was so fun, dude, for real. And of course, our 5th nominee is the Helldivers Warhammer Cosplay Mashup Project featuring the Smoke and Civic Minded. You got to check out the pictures. It's on Instagram. I mean, like I said, if you're following us, the pictures up there, man, it is amazing. Smoke and Civ killed it at Too Many Games with the Helldivers cosplay.
And Arrowhead's posted all of our stuff and everything.
Oh my God. Yo, you know what's funny? So first off, that's the nominees for PTC Moment of the Year. But you know what's so funny though?
Do you want to read them back real quick? So
I'll definitely read them back. So the nominees for Best PTC Moment of the Year is 1, Mega Ran drops exclusive news about upcoming musical releases on our show. 2, a very in-depth interview with the legendary Phil Lamar. That's 2. 3, hosting multiple celebrity panels at this year's Too Many Games convention. That's 3. 4, McNucks defeating Civic Minded in a very close Pokken tournament at Idealisticon. That's 4. And 5th, the Helldivers Warhammer Cosplay Mashup Project featuring Smoke and Civic Minded. That is number 5. Real talk, because here's a funny thing too with the cosplay mashup. First of all, I love y'all cosplays, man. I saw a similar group at PAX Unplugged, right? They came to the convention center, and there was 3 of them, and they had, I thought that was y'all for a second. I thought that was y'all because they did the same thing. I was like,
maybe it was.
No, I was Google. I was like, that can't be Smoking Civ, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, they doing this. I was like, wait a minute, dog. They came to PAX Unplugged. I was like, yo, man, that's just. But y'all, they can. I don't know if they trying to. First of all, y'all did it first, man. And Too Many Games, I ain't gonna lie, y'all killed it, man. Seriously. I don't know what to pick. Honestly, dude, I gotta say Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar was just a fun conversation. I gotta say that, man. Chat, if you haven't never seen the interview with us and Phil Lamar, it's in our vlogs, man. It's like, or I'm sorry, video on demand. Check it out on YouTube. It's awesome. Like seriously, I never had so much fun, dude. I felt so high, like legit high, talking to Phil because I was like, yo, dude, I idolize you, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like Mega Ran, I love Mega Ran. Mega Ran is a hometown guy. He's a friend of the show. You know what I'm saying? I love Mega Ran. Shout out to Mega Ran for doing his thing. Shout out to all the celebrities, especially at Too Many Games for sure. You know what I mean? Like we had fun talking to you. But just the fact that we got a chance to talk to Phil Lamar, which I never thought we could have done.
Well, people don't know. What people don't know, and they're about to get a little exclusive here, is that the interview with Phil Lamar did not end at the hour and a half, hour 45 mark. After we turned the cameras off and after the live feed stopped, we stayed on with him for about another hour. And
yes, we did.
He initiated that. He kept telling stories, and he kept like asking us stuff, and was telling us like all kinds of inside stuff, and like the curtain was so pulled back.
Yeah, right.
Like, whoa! I started asking him stuff about like his Mad TV days, and I asked him deep cuts about his voice work on like Metal Gear Solid 2, and like he is an open book if there ever was one. He's one of the most interesting dudes, and his the the broad range of his vocal talents, it's mythical. I'm so impressed. Like he could do characters way on this end of the spectrum and just totally change course and be way over here. I was astonished because I always know him as Vamp and all,
Yeah.
the Mortal Kombat characters. And then you start to look into his library of stuff he's done. It goes deep, real deep. I mean, he's an actor, he's a comedian, he's Pulp Fiction. I asked him about stuff from that. It was dope. It was such a cool thing. I almost wanted to restart the feed. I'd be like, we need to like keep this show going
Yeah.
because the after show on that one was
It was
impressive. So, yeah,
phenomenal,
Phil was
man.
dope. Phil was dope. All right, so I'm gonna jump in just real quick.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
which is your pick though? You got it.
I do Phil Lamar because, like I said, I never
Phil?
thought that was
Yeah.
gonna happen. I was like, yo, this is a once in a lifetime. I was like, dog, this is it. This is a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, I loved it, man. I loved it.
The moment for me, this is like impossible. I mean, Mega Ran is. I
Yes.
said this. He's a bucket list guy who I admired for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was just up and coming, before he put out his first music you could even buy, I was a big fan originally. I was like,
Right.
yo, you're different than everything else. Like you just have this incredibly unique sound, this take. You're a lyricist, you're a humble dude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you really appreciate the craft of gaming. You understand video game lore. Like, I was like, this guy's gonna go up and up and up. And he's a hometown guy. He's from Philly, so yo, had to represent. So
Yep,
we're all
absolutely.
Philly. And I was like, damn, this guy's amazing. So we finally got him, and that just lived up to every expectation. Talking to him was absolutely just a blast.
Yep.
All around. Um, of course, hosting too many games, that's always awesome. I
Yeah.
told you about the thing at Idealisticon. That was an amazing event. I wish
Mhm.
more people were there. There were a lot of people, but like I'd love to see something even bigger for them. I'd love to blow up Idealisticon even bigger and get them like, yo,
Absolutely.
let's keep the party going. It's crazy. I think my moment of the year might actually be doing the Helldivers cosplay.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because for me, it was more meaningful. It's personal for me because you gotta understand. Like I admired Smoke as a cosplayer before we were friends. Like it was a bro crush, dude. I went to my very first convention. I cosplayed as Sagat. Excuse me. Apologize. Whoa, sorry. I'm getting all yeah.
Emotional.
Yeah, right. I'm tearing up. It's that and the NyQuil. Um, but so the very first convention I ever went to, I cosplayed for the first time ever. I went as Scott, and I'm standing there, and I just hear something behind me, and all the, everybody's eyes turn, and they're looking at it, and right behind me, I turn, and it's Optimus Prime in all his glory. Actually, Optimus Prime. I'm standing there. I just look up, and it's like a bro crush instantly. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
what is this? Like, I never saw anything like it. I'm like, Jesus, this dude built a suit that looks like the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime.
Right.
Talent. And later on, took the suit off and met him, and I was like, yo, man, I go, that's awesome what you're doing. And of course, he was like, oh no, your Sagat cosplay's dope. And I'm feeling like, yeah, right, shut up. Now he's like, he goes on his phone and he shows me like he's got like M Bison. He does all his cosplays. My first time like ever really seeing his work. I was just blown away. I was like kid in a candy store. I'm like, it's amazing. I was like, wow, I want to do what you do. That's inspiring. So, our friendship developed over time. We kept in touch with things like this and watching him work and do what he does and seeing the enjoyment that he gets and the
Mhm.
creativity he shows and the passion for it, like really inspired me. And it's led to me making a lot of other friends and things like this. And it's a whole story that branches off. But for me, like doing a cosplay with him was like the circle was complete. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, here we are. This is so dope. Like, this is a guy who, like, I love him like a brother. I admire his work.
Uh-huh.
He's one of the dopest dudes in the game. And here we are. I'm standing next to him. And people are taking pictures. And I was glad I had the helmet on because I was sitting there getting emotional. I'm like, this is so freaking cool. So no, and thanks to him, he will never sit there and go, yeah, I made his cosplay. I did his cosplay for him. He never once freaking took any credit, but he
Nope.
deserves it because he did. He made that. I had nothing. I had a little bit to do with helping to make mine, but like he did like 90% of the work on the thing. I never flaunted it. Never wanted anything in return. For me personally, That was a huge deal because I think people really enjoyed that cosplay. I've always loved his Warhammer cosplay.
Right, right.
That thing is just insane. Like, for those of you who haven't stood next to Smoke, he's a big dude. Like, he is like he is like Space Marine size, like in real life. And then he puts the armor on. And you're like, God damn, this dude's freaking like he's like the real deal. So I'm all small, like I'm in my armor, but I'm like, it's dope because he was doing the Warhammer thing. So for me, that was total joy. I was like thrilled. I'm like, I wish people could see me smile under his helmet because I'm sitting there like, yeah, dude. So yeah, I'm like with the smoke. So yeah, it was really cool. For me, that was a huge moment for me. So I hope other people enjoyed it.
I'm actually going to show the chat. I got the picture of.
Oh
the
yeah,
Warhammer.
here we go.
So there's the Warhammer cosplay from Smoke and Civic Minded, and it got, of course, the third guy came up there with a Helldiver's costume. Dude, that is phenomenal. Not gonna lie, dude.
We even had a background music. We had a
The trumpeter.
musician.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was rocking it.
Dude, it was insane, man, the way y'all pulled that off. So, I mean, like I said, Chad, if you ever see, I wish y'all came to too many games. Like I said, we kind of killed it, man.
But see, this is funny because that was the Helldivers version of the armor. But then Smoke also had a Warhammer mashup version.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
The one that if you're impressed by this, you should see the other one too because he basically modified like oh freaking what was the
There was a Warhammer on Helldivers.
yeah, but
Space Marine.
specifically, what's the faction in Helldivers?
Oh, you're talking about the Chaos Marines.
Space Marine. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot the So the Space Marine armor modified to Warhammer, and it was modified to Helldivers.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was dope. Yeah, that gets my vote. I loved it. That was my personal favorite because I got to be in it. So, yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like I said, y'all killed it, man. Smoke, how about you, man? What was your PTC
between our cosplay and then Phil Lamar being on the show, and then of course Mega Ran? It's a toss up of all three because we had so much fun, and that was something we were aiming for to get Phil on there. So to have all four of us on there, to have Phil on, and all four of us interacting with him, as a group, and not only that, but then having Mega Ran on because that was something that Civ has wanted to have, more than anything to have on our show as a guest. That was a pivotal moment for us, as well as doing the cosplay because again, we worked our asses off on that, and Civ put in the work. He put in the work. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I did this. I'm like, nah, Civ did. He did a lot. He did a lot, and with his
it was
cosplay.
Fun doing it. It was fun doing it, and it was the
Mm-hmm.
culmination of a dream. It really was. I know it sounds so corny. You've been cosplaying for a lot longer, so it may not be as big a deal to you. But like for me, I've only been doing it like maybe 1/4 of the time you have. So for me, it was like, damn, this is dope as shit.
I think the biggest payoff was getting acknowledged by Arrowhead for our stuff, and them reposting it on their sites.
Yeah.
That spoken volumes for me because all that work that both me and Civ put in was the payoff. For me, that was the major payoff because I wanted to get their attention. For Civ and I, they're like, hey man, we love Helldivers that much that we broke our neck just to have ready at the game. I just sent you a picture. If you check on your thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, while we're looking at this, I do have a runner-up here since we mentioned the runner-up before. One other moment this year I forgot. What was really fun is McNux at Too Many Games running through the entire game of Parappa the Rapper, doing basically like a perfect run through on his first try with like all these people hanging around. Like it was such a pressure situation.
Yeah, that game is mega hard too.
Everybody's just rapping along with the game. It was a good time. But Parappa the Rapper, I should have put that on my list because that was really impressive. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. All right, so here's the actual picture Smoke gave me for those that want to check it out. There it is, right there. That's insane, yo. Cuz that is phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. Like I said, Chad, if you was at Too Many Games, make sure you come to Too Many Games every year. Up in of course in Philadelphia or the northeast section of the city, because you talk about these cosplays, man. You talk about the fact that the convention is amazing for those that love gaming, but you get to see these cosplays that Civ and Smoke pull, out from like the woodworks, man, which is, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how they do it, man, but it's awesome. It's
And so
totally
for those
awesome.
of you that can't tell from that picture, it's a bit difficult to tell, but when you're standing next to that, I think he's about 9 feet tall.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yep.
a 9 foot tall cosplay. And Smoke is a big dude, but that even like just blows him up even bigger. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, damn, dude. Like yeah, so yeah, it's very impressive. It's one of my favorite cosplays he's
Yeah,
ever done.
it's amazing. I was like, good
Yeah.
Lord, dude. That's for real, man. Like I said, it's the power of cosplay. Honestly, dude, like with that being said, honestly, I came in front. I would probably have to. Y'all cosplays is freaking phenomenal, man. I mean, like seriously, dude. I'm not even going to front with that. But of course, there can only be one winner, and of course, the winner of best PTC show moment of the year is. I mean, obviously, it's your cosplay. It's your cosplay.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
It is your
Are you
cosplay,
serious?
dude. It is definitely your cosplay.
No
man.
way.
Yeah, once a good,
Oh my God.
put out a showing of your cosplay, and people's like, yo, that's dope,
Well,
cuz yeah.
accepting the award on behalf of Smoke to not be here tonight. I would like to thank you all for your. No, that's awesome. But yo, we won a Passy. Look at that.
There you go, man.
That was history. Wait, we beat Phil and Mega Ran?
That's
Dang.
impossible.
Right.
I know right now, like Mega Man's gonna Mega Ran's he's gonna come up with a hate verse for us now. It's gonna be a rap beef.
Oh my God, man! Listen,
Yeah,
congrats
put
y'all
out that-
too, man. There you go.
That
I mean,
PTC diss track is coming tomorrow morning.
exactly. All right, we're
awesome.
gonna keep
Thanks,
keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. Of course, now we go to the best soundtrack. Let me tell you something. You already know what I always say,
I'll be
man.
back.
Music has always been a thing to keep you hanging when playing video games. Always, the soundtrack has always been phenomenal. I love video game soundtracks, man. First of all, you cannot. It's like one of the pillars, support pillars for playing video games, man. Without a good soundtrack, you cannot go forward in a video game, and that's facts. You know what I'm saying? That's super facts. So, with that being said, of course, we're going to announce the nominees for Best Soundtrack of 2024. And the nominees are, while Chad is actually looking at that as well too, the nominees are Astrobot. Astrobot was a great soundtrack. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Helldivers 2. Tekken 8, phenomenal soundtrack. I love Tekken 8. And last but not least, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. That is your nominees for Best Soundtrack of 2024. Smoke, what you got, man? What's
Helldivers, because I use that in my part of my workout routine. Helldivers music,
Uh-huh.
and extended, Helldivers rap, the whole nine. Anything Helldivers related, I was using for my part of my workout routine.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Helldivers was a hype. I ain't gonna lie, dude. I feel like Helldivers music was like inspirational, man. When it came to like, yo, it's like when you go into battle and they play that music. It's like, okay, you're willing to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm not scared to die. Like, I'm going to go in and be hype and start shooting these bugs and animatronics, man. You know what I'm saying? Or and I'm like, dude, yeah, right. So it's like I'm hyped, cause that music in Helldivers is insane. Cause seriously, it's totally insane.
It gives you that Starship Troopers feel.
Yes.
Gives you Aliens feel, Terminator feel. It hits all cylinders, man.
Absolutely, you got that right, man. So I agree with you on that one. I feel like Helldivers was more of a hype soundtrack, in my opinion, man. Sid, how about you, man?
Oh man, this is a hard one too. Astrobot was incredible.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily music I would listen to in my car.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like music for the game, but I don't know. Tekken 8 just is amazing.
Yep.
Every single track. Tekken has always had good music. For fighting games, it's probably got like the best music. Like I'm a Street Fighter guy. I love me some Mortal Kombat, but like soundtrack wise, Tekken games always just come amazing. Space Marines 2, phenomenal. For me, it's a toss up. It's a toss up between Helldivers and Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
And how the hell can you look? Helldivers 2 has, that anthem, and it has like the mission complete,
Yep.
fanfare and all. They're great. They really do sound great. I think aside from like the one song that we all know, I think that the mission songs are good,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also like one trick ponies. It's the song you get when you're fighting either the Terminids or the automatons, or
Yeah.
you get like a theme song played. In a way, sometimes it can be a bit much, but
Right.
the
Yeah.
that is an amazing. If we just went by like song of the year, that would be the song.
Yeah. Right.
That would be a shoe in, because the Helldivers anthem is freaking amazing. But soundtrack overall, you can't beat Final Fantasy VII. You
Yeah, I feel
can't.
you.
My God, it's hit after hit after hit after hit, dude. It's like an 8 CD compilation of songs. It's
Yeah.
like orchestral and symphonic, and they have synth, and then they have live band, and they have deconstructed songs. And my God, to me it's almost unfair, because to me, Final Fantasy VII has always been my favorite music soundtrack of all time.
Right.
Whether it's a game or a movie or anything, TV show, Final Fantasy VII songs are, yeah, just like the best.
Yeah.
The best. It's
Yeah.
God tier. So that's got to be my vote. But Helldivers 2 really does deserve respect. It is phenomenal.
For sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like, what soundtrack gets you hype? You know what I'm saying? And you're right. But it was a toss up between Final Fantasy, and then Chad agrees too. It's a toss up
Because
between Final Fantasy.
I've listened to Final Fantasy in my car. That's
Yeah.
how I judge. I'm like, would I listen to this music outside of the game? And Astrobot, probably not. Tekken, yeah, maybe. Warhammer, maybe. Helldivers, sometimes. But Final Fantasy VII, yes. All the time.
The funny thing is,
All
as
the
well too, like it's like I remember Smoke gave a good point too, man, because I use Helldivers music, man, before I have to talk to like a crowd of people, man, to hype me up, man. Like, all right, you know what? Yeah, let me hype myself up real quick so I can be able to talk to this massive crowd. You know what I'm saying? To get them hype up. You know what I mean? And that's what Helldivers is, man. Like, it's just it's a hype. I'm on a punching bag at the gym, man. I gotta play Helldivers music, you know what I'm saying?
But it's you imagine it in your head. If you close your eyes, you can even think about the moment when the mission launches, and you put your boots into the thing, and it locks you in, and then it goes, and then all of a sudden it's like that moment where it just crescendos, and it stops for a second, and you get that break, and as soon as you shoot out of the ship, the song just
yeah.
It's like, dude, that's the stuff, man. It reminds me of when they played, was it Flight of the Valkyries during like Apocalypse Now, like when the helicopters are coming out doing the bombing run.
That's
and all.
right. That's right.
It's that same feeling. You're like, God damn, that's some good hype music right there, man. So yeah, I'm okay. If Helldivers wins, I'll be okay with that. But me personally, I gotta go Final Fantasy. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, Chad is chiming in. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I got some DMs as well too. We're gonna go with the winner of this category. And the winner for Best Soundtrack of 2024 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, man. Congratulations to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for winning Best Soundtrack. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, listen, it is a complete soundtrack, you know what I'm saying? It's like complete soundtrack versus best hype music, you know what I mean? And you're right, like if we would have took like best hype music, Helldivers would have won. You know what I'm saying? That's like the best hype music ever.
And I think this is the last project we're getting from Nobuo Uematsu, right?
I think so.
Right?
Yes, right.
Because I don't think he said he's coming back for the third installment.
Right. So that's gonna be interesting. So shout out to Nobuo.
Yeah. Thank you for everything. Because that guy is. Someday he's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award.
You know what? Shoot, it could be next year. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, man. So big shout out to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, man, for doing your thing for sure. But now, of course, 2024 always brings out some amazing things to look at, man. As far as when we play video games, man, when we play video games, it's always our eyes shows, the beauty of how, it captures the beauty, per se. And that's what this category is talking about. It's talking about graphics. We know that graphics is always a key factor when us playing video games, man, because obviously you want to see something crispy. You want to see something beautiful, you know what I'm saying? You want to see the details of the flower or the cracks in the wall. You know what I'm saying? You want to see the sweat be coming off a person's face. Graphics is always a thing. That there you go. You know that graphics is always a thing. Listen, if you want to see that in 4K, 8K, you know you got the games to do that with, man. And these are the 5 games that we feel that have the best graphics of 2024. And the nominees for best graphics, as the chat sees that, are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Metaphor ReFantazio, Black Myth Wukong, and last but not least, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Those are your nominees for best graphics. As we talk with the panel, let's go around. Smoke, what do you feel, man? How you feel? What's your best
Black
thing
Myth
visually?
Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong
It's
visually?
beautiful. Yeah, it's oh my god. Game is a beautiful game. I mean, where do I begin? I mean, graphic wise, it really stuck. I mean, when they put out the trailer for this game, you know, you were like, oh, okay, this is not going to look 100% like they did in the trailer. It basically not only did that, but surpassed it. So, you know, some of these trailers they put out, you know, at the award show and all, you know that it's not going to look anything like the game that you're going to play. A lot of cases, it's not as good.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case with Black Myth Wukong, man, it surpassed because I was like, wow, I was not expecting the graphics to be that tight.
Right.
For me to buy the game, not only digitally but physical, getting the physical copy of it,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like like I said, it's like a work of art, like Sifu. It's a work of art.
Right.
You're looking at these graphics, you're looking at it along the lines like, wow. I mean, again, from the creature designs, and they had a lot of different bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Just the designs of the armors and everything, the customization, the world building, everything, phenomenal. When you have all these characters on the screen at one time and you're fighting them, and man, it's whoo, yeah, it's definitely. I definitely want to give it to that. Final Fantasy Rebirth and all that, you know, again, it's a remake. So the game has been out there. It stood the test of time,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's time for other games to take and let that game, other games. You know, we already know Final Fantasy is always going to be held in high esteem. But again, we're talking about current games that hasn't been remade and all, or anything like that. We're talking about new games with top tier graphics. And to me, Black Myth Wukong is right there on the nose. Right there on the nose.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. Sif, how about you, man?
So it's a toss up for me. Black Myth Wukong can't be ignored in this category. It's a gorgeous game. It
Mhm.
runs great and it runs fast. That's the thing too. It's the art style. Like Smoke talked about it earlier. Is that like when you get these cutscenes and they're all by these different. They have a different sort of motif that depicts different events in the game.
Mhm.
I thought that was brilliantly incorporated. It looks good. It plays well into this. It's sort of like unexpected. Like when you see it for the first time, first couple times, you're just like, oh man, they're retelling this story through these different types of style. Like it's almost like they gave the helm to a different director and said, okay, now you tell it. And then somebody else, and they're like, okay, now you tell it.
Right.
So to me, I mean, that's just points for creativity. Graphics doesn't just mean graphics and fidelity. It means art style.
Right. Yep.
For me, it has to look pretty, and that game looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So it's toss up for me between Black Myth Wukong and probably Warhammer 40K.
Okay.
Warhammer, man, it sometimes you step back and in those moments between the scenes and you see like the enemies on the horizon fighting, and then you see something in space coming down, and man, it's so immersive. It's a gorgeous game. I mean, granted, it's like this dystopian gothic sort of wartime, portrayal, but like in between the violence, there's a certain beauty to it too.
Mhm.
And I think that's always been the case with Warhammer. I think it's a franchise that always, tiptoed between those very different sorts of themes.
Right.
It looks gorgeous. It's well done. Everything, the details, amazing. Um, had it not been for a Final Fantasy VII remake, I would have said Rebirth would be a shoo-in for me. But
Mhm.
Rebirth does pretty much exactly what remake did.
Right.
Frame rates are a little better. Some of the art is polished a little more. Any other year, it would get my vote. but I don't think it does anything drastically better.
Right, right.
So I'm not penalizing it for that, but I'm just saying like if it like last time I think I did go with Final Fantasy VII Remake because it really is gorgeous.
Yes, I remember. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But the only reason I would say Warhammer I think would fall down just maybe 1 point is because one, it's based on an existing IP, and two, it is a sequel. There was Space Marines 1, so this really takes a lot of those assets, polishes them up, repackages them, and everything. So it's fine. Black Myth Wukong is a completely original game,
Yeah.
and these Souls-like games that really shoot for the moon, it's hit or miss. I mean, you're either going to do it and it's going to suck, or you're going to do it and it's going to be great. And I think in this case they did it and it's great. So I think I'll go with Black Myth Wukong on this one.
All right, that's fair. You know what? I got to go on the opposite end of the spectrum. I feel like for me, it's a toss-up between Metaphor and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, man, because both of them, besides them being so crispy, just like you said, Civ, it's the art style. I love that art style that Metaphor Tazio has. And it's like you got that sort of like a Persona-ish type of style. I love that. I love that animated style, man. I mean, of course, for all of us that watch anime, what I'm saying? It's so clean. Everything, it runs so crispy. I just love it, man. And obviously the same thing with Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, man. It's that it's trying to go back to the original classic, A Link to the Past, Super Nintendo kind of feel, but just like a bump up, you know what I'm saying? It's like adding a couple more spices to it, you know what I'm saying? And I love the way it is, because it's basically what it is. It's kind of like a remake of A Link to the Past, because it's the same map, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, of course now you're playing as Zelda, but it's a bump up, man. But the world is the world is the same, it's just polished, more 2024 instead of being or 1998 Super Nintendo kind of, esque, you know what I'm saying? It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I love the way they did that. So Nintendo, had, clap to Nintendo for that, because they did a great job kind of, upgrading that kind of style, you know what I'm saying? So it's both of them. If I had to lean towards...
I have to say too, and I agree, I just want to tack on something for Legend of Zelda's Echoes of Wisdom, is that just thinking about this now, I think Nintendo has been the most experimental visually with the Zelda franchise, as opposed to most of their other IPs. Like Mario, I know we've had Paper Mario and stuff like that. We've had different iterations. We have 3D Mario. I get all that. Same thing with like Metroid. There's some deviations there, but for the most part, those games kind of follow sort of a little bit of a formula. But the Zelda franchise, you've gone from isometric to top down to 3D to Wind Waker to like the 2D to the 3D to the hyper real to the deconstructed to the abstract. I mean, and this one for me, it looks super, like you said, man, how can you, super clean is the best way to say it.
Yes.
It just has this nice, solid, everything has a very solid look to it. Everything feels the way it should. It looks the way you should. It's very immersive. And I would call it a fan service game, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean in a very positive way. I love the art style.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about that. If that one were to win, I wouldn't be disappointed either.
Nah, you're right. You're right about that too. Again, like I said, but I'm not going to dismiss Black Myth. Again, Black Myth, like y'all said, man, is oh my God, for a Souls-ish game,
amazing.
It is amazing. It is definitely amazing. And yeah, like I said, all these games graphics, man, we're just getting, as the years go on, you can imagine just the art style just gets more beautiful, man, more cleaner, with these games. Like I said, we can't wait for what was it, Interstellar, or what was that game that's coming out for Naughty Dog? I can't wait for that to come. Yeah, right. So I can't wait for that to come out. I really can't wait for that to come out, because the way the trailer was, man, I was like, yo, this is phenomenal, man. A couple games that was announced at the Game Awards, man, like the new Ninja Gaiden one, was just a rehash. Did you see they did a 1-for-1 with the original Ninja Gaiden intro, you know what I'm saying? And they just bumped it. I was like, dude, I was like, wait a minute. When I saw it, man, I was like, it's Ninja Gaiden, but it's just bumped. The years are going to be so phenomenal, man. I'm so happy we live in this kind of era, man, where the things that we loved back in the day are getting bumped up, man, and just like tenfold, and we just enjoying it now, man. So it's awesome. But of course, there's going to be one winner of best graphics. What's the cleanest thing you ever seen? The art style that you love. The winner for best graphics is Black Myth Wukong is the winner for sure, man. Everybody loves Black Myth Wukong. It is clean. I'll give you that. It is definitely clean.
All right.
You know, so
Great.
a big ups to Black Myth Wukong.
Well deserved.
For sure. So now we get into towards the end of the award ceremony. We are getting close to. We're actually going to get into our Game of the Year as well as the other Game of the Year. Of course, man. For the both Game of the Year has been recognized by the industry and all that too. But the other Game of the Year, sleepers. Sleepers that should have been recognized to be the top game of the year. Before we do that, we want to really give our flowers to the lifetime achievement, because we always want to recognize a person in the industry, for kind of paving the way, pioneering, for all of us to play those games, to kind of be in that video game industry as well too. And we picked out one person to be that lifetime, to have that lifetime achievement award, and we want to give it up to first is Ada Lovelace. Now I'm gonna tell you a story about Ada Lovelace real quick, because I honestly really this was here's the thing. So when I was doing computer programming in high school, this was actually one of the essays that we had to write for class. You know what I'm saying, was the history of Ada Lovelace, and which was pretty cool. And honestly, dude, when I remembered who she was, and I was like, yeah, she actually paved the way for all of us as far as computer programming. If you don't know who Ada Lovelace is, you will know now, man. She's been a pioneer for years. Even though Ada Lovelace lived during a time of predating video games, we're starting off with her since her foundation work made video games possible in the future. Ada Lovelace, daughter of poet Lord George Byron, was a mathematician and inventor who is considered to be the world's first computer programmer. She was born in England in 1815. Lovelace was taught math and science by expert tutors at a young age. At age 17, she met mathematician Charles Babbage and became his mentee. In 1843, Babbage was developing the analytical engine, and Lovelace translated his notes from French to English while adding her own insights. Her notes explained how the analytical engine could follow patterns or codes to form letters and numbers, essentially creating the idea of computer programming. And this was back in the early 1800s, which is phenomenal. See, Lovelace's notes were forgotten after Babbage failed to secure funding for the analytical engine, but were rediscovered in the 1950s and showed how computers work by following patterns. She died in 1852, but her advanced way of thinking earned her the title of the world's first computer programmer. This is phenomenal, man. So like I said, a phenomenal lady paving the way for what could be like the actual, first computer, vibe, and for a lot of companies to kind of follow her path, man. So she is really a pioneer. We talked about great people back in the day, like Jerry Lawson, making the first cartridge, you know what I'm saying? But without Ada Lovelace, there wouldn't be a Jerry Lawson. There wouldn't be anybody working in the computer field, man. Like this is phenomenal, man. So big ups to the ladies, man, because seriously, like she had a really creative mindset, man. Like this is phenomenal. Like I remember doing this in class, and I was like, oh man, dude, listen, big ups to her, because without her, man, I wouldn't have this interest in computer programming or computer repair, computer programming, just codes, you know what I'm saying? Nobody thought about that. Who would have thought about that in the early 1800s besides Ada Lovelace, man?
So I have the best idea for a video game ever. If Hazelight Studios is watching us, which I know they're not, make a co-op video game that follows Ada Lovelace's story and Alan Turing, as they were like, they were the founders of what modern computing really is. And if they wanted to explore sort of the history and make like an interactive video game that actually showed you what they did and make it tangible and digestible, I think that would be really cool, because I think it's a story worth telling, and it's one that I certainly wasn't familiar with prior to exploring this. So I'm glad. I definitely do co-sign this. I think it's well deserved. I think it's awesome. Yeah. And I'm glad that we don't lose these names to the fog of history, as it were. We definitely do have to recognize these people for their contributions. So
Absolutely. So, like I said, for those, listen, for all the gamers out there listening as well and watching this, man, listen, you could not pick up controller without Ada Lovelace, seriously, behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? Because she made it happen, and that's awesome. So, congratulations to Ada Lovelace for taking home the pretty much acquiring the Lifetime Achievement Award, man. So, like I said, well deserved, man. Ladies doing the big, man. The video game industry, as always, man. Of course, there's more ladies that we're going to, spotlight, especially in the near future, for sure. Definitely. But now we come to the two pivotal categories of the show, the two last categories as well. Our game of the year, as well as the other game of the year. We're gonna first do the game of the year, which is the game of the year has always been those that the industry put up on a pedestal. The industry put up on a pedestal that we're gonna definitely say, listen, this is what we voted on, you know what I'm saying? Now, the other game of the year was that games that should have been sleepers, kind of like games that didn't really get the spotlight that much, especially this year, but should have been really a game of the year. But let's focus on the game of the year for 2024. And the nominees for game of the year for 2024 are Balatro, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Helldivers 2, Sonic and Shadow Generations, and last but not least, Black Myth Wukong. Those are your nominees for Game of the Year. I'm just gonna put it hands down. I'm a disciple of Balatro, but I gotta go with Sonic and Shadow Generations because that remake, adding Sonic and Shadow Generations, actually adding Shadow Story, and just putting more into the lore of Shadow was what Sonic and Shadow Generations was. You know what I'm saying? That kind of gave us feels to it. I love the game. Chat, if you've watched us play a lot of Sonic Shadow Generations, and you felt the same way I did, man, towards the end of that game as well, too, man. Again, they built up that game so much, man, especially Shadow Story, and adding more lore to it, man, it was just phenomenal. I feel like, even though I'm a disciple of Balatro, but Sonic and Shadow Generations definitely has my vote, man, because so much fun. We talk about soundtrack. That should have been put a nominee. I should have put that as a nominee for best soundtrack because they redone a lot of your favorite hits of the Sonic series as well too. They redone it, twisted around, and just put it into a new soundtrack. It was amazing. So that captivated me as well too. The graphics was crispy. Everything was just on point. It was just like a sandwich, man. A very beautiful sandwich that you can consume, man, and enjoy, for time, So I got to give it to Sonic Shadow Generations for sure. That has my vote. Sif, how about you, man?
All right. Well, my mind says Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Because like I told you, it is one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love what Square Enix is doing with the series of the remakes. I want it to win, and I'd be okay if it won. But then I got to think and be honest with myself. What game did I play more than any other game in 2024?
Good point. Yep.
What game did I have the most fun playing with my friends? What game did I spend more time thinking about and getting the platinum and talking about, cosplaying? And I swear, when it really comes down to it and everything else, all things considered, man, I gotta go Helldivers.
Okay.
Because I know it. I'm shocked as you are because I just started thinking about it. I nominated Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
I love the hell out of it. Nobody loves Final Fantasy VII more than this guy.
Right.
Yeah, I got the sword right there.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm really thinking about it, and I'm like, dude, we had some epic times playing Helldivers, and we still do. It's got replayability. It's got the community. They're constantly upgrading the game, making it better. It is an underdog story, too. That is not a AAA title. It was never supposed to be as big as it got.
Right.
The first Helldivers game, most people didn't even play it. It was a top-down twin-stick shooter. It was fun. People played it. It had its moment. But, it debuted back in the era of the PS3. It was cool, but I just didn't even see Helldivers 2 coming. And then everybody just was like, "Oh man, this game looks amazing!" Like they just like shadow drop trailers, and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta pick this thing up. It looks
Mm-hmm.
dope, dude. I love it because I love Aliens, and I love Terminator, and I love Space Marines, and I love Starship Troopers, and all those different mythologies and everything are just crammed into Helldivers so well. I love it. I love what they're doing with it. It's fun. Yes, they've had their stumbles. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
does. They had server issues initially because the game was too popular. It wasn't because the game sucked. It wasn't because the servers were bad. It's because everybody and their
Yeah.
mom wanted to play it at the same time. That is a
True.
real
True.
testament to how good a game is. So I'm okay with any one of these games winning. Balatro deserves it. Black Myth deserves it.
Right.
Sonic X deserves it. These are the best of the very best. And I won't be disappointed. Any do what you gotta do. You gotta vote your heart on this one. So yes, part of me, Final Fantasy VII would any other day of the week I'd be like, it has to be it because that's
Right.
a phenomenal game. But damn, I gotta go Helldivers too. I
Okay.
had so much fun playing that game, and like I said, I still do to this day.
All right.
So
That's fair. That is absolutely
yeah,
fair.
that's
That is
where I'm
absolutely
at.
fair. Smoke. How about you, man?
As Sip said, he basically there was a lot that he said that I basically feel the same way on. With Helldivers 2 and Black Myth Wukong, it was a really hard pull because with Black Myth Wukong, well, Helldivers 2, everything that Sip said was right on the money. Then I look at Black Myth Wukong.
Mm-hmm.
Black Myth Wukong, let me just say it like this. Black Myth Wukong is one of those games that I never in a million years thought I would ever complete. And you're talking about someone who put hours, weeks, months into this game, wanting to master every level, every boss, till I got for like I hit over 100%. And I mean secrets, hit every milk and cranny
Mm-hmm.
every day. A boss kept knocking me down. I was determined. I spent hours, 6, 7, 8 hours on one boss to try to defeat him. And yet you have all these other gamers out there who are rage quitting this game. And I'm like they're saying, "What's on the Elden Ring?" And I'm like, it's not really, it's not really a Souls like. It's a soft Souls like, but
Right.
it's not Souls like. But again, it challenges you. I wanted to be put to the challenge because I love the mythos behind Journey to the West. I was always in love with the whole Monkey King saga. I was determined to get this game, finish this game, own this game, not only digitally, but physically. When they announced that the physical game was coming out,
Yep.
I got it. I got the 1/6 scale Hot Toys version of the Monkey King. Got that, Wukong.
Right.
The staff. I got the mask. I plan on probably cosplaying them next year. Again, you're talking about someone who's obsessively obsessed with the whole Monkey King, Black Myth Wukong saga. As much as I love Helldivers, also, again, I wanted something that I could push myself to the limit and challenge myself on this year. And this game did it. Black Myth Wukong did it. Coming in a sharp second is Helldivers 2 for me because the camaraderie, a game that I never thought I would be able to play multiplayer when I'm playing with a whole bunch of different people.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, me and Civ, we teamed up so much throughout the course of these almost 6, 7, almost a year. We've been
Right.
playing this game, and it's been nonstop. And again, it comes in a sharp second. Of course, Final Fantasy I have to come back to because I was playing Rebirth and the Redux remake, whatever remix. Again, but those are my top three. But Black Myth Wukong definitely a first. Helldivers 2, and then Final Fantasy, and then everything else falls at the waistline. So, and all of them, like Sip said, deserve to have their spot their time in the spotlight.
Oh,
To me,
absolutely.
Black Myth Wukong is there for me. Storyline is original. It's straight to the point, and the playability. Now they just added new stuff on there, so the playability is even higher, and the stakes are even higher. So again, I gotta say, Black Myth Wukong sold me, sold me.
All right, I like that. I like that. See, we all had our favorite game of this year, man, which is amazing. I know, Chad, you had your favorite game. I can see that. For everybody, just hit me up about their favorite game as well too, and some favorite games that you wish it was a part of the the game of the year for sure. I mean, honestly, dude, when we think about it too, 2024 wasn't half as bad as far as gaming, which is pretty phenomenal for sure. I know it could have been better, but 2024 wasn't as bad. Now we will announce the winner of the game of the year, which everybody's been looking forward to. The official game of the year for 2024 goes to Helldivers 2, man, has won game of the year. Big shout out to Helldivers, man, for winning, for being PTC game of the year, man.
Wow.
They've covered the
Wow.
I'm
surprised.
I'm
Wow.
surprised
Wow.
too. I'm legit surprised too, because I wouldn't think. I honestly, dude, I wouldn't think that was going to be the case. Again, I would think either Black Myth or I was trying to put up a big fight for Sonic and Shadow Generations for sure.
So it's crazy. Like, one thing I thought about Helldivers after I got done talking about it is like, I actually made a lot of gamer friends through Helldivers. Like, I have a whole separate friends list of people that just were randos that we just jumped on a game and we just started playing, and it's co-op, and you're like, yo, man, you're fun to play with. Cool. Yo, you mind if I add you? Yeah. And I think I've added more friends to like my game friend list playing Helldivers than maybe any other game I've ever played. And it's dope because like that's the worst part of playing Helldivers is that it's only 4 people simultaneous to co-op. So if you have like 12 of your friends online at the same time, they all want to play, you're like, oh crap, I gotta pick which, everybody wants to play. I'm like, yo, it's amazing. So, and that's no disrespect, Black Myth Wukong, I know people are gonna, I do feel like it did get a little bit snubbed this year at the other Game Awards show, and I get it. Man, it sucks to be that good and maybe not come up with the #1 spot. It's not a slight. I just think that, like, maybe sometimes games are so, like, it's a niche, right? Like, even Smoke kind of alluded to it. He's not, like, typically a Souls, like, guy or a rogue, like, player. So if you are automatically not a Bloodborne fan, if you're not, like, Elden Ring, if you shy away from those games, Souls games, it's probably going to alienate most of a fan base who typically would be on board to play almost any other genre. So I don't think it's the quality of the game that hurts it. I think it's the genre. Now, I know like Souls-like games have won Game of the Year awards in the past, but maybe that's why. Maybe people are like, hey, like we are like Elden Ring already won big, and Bloodborne won big, and Soul, like these games. It's like I know, like it's like maybe they just want to change it up. I think gamers are fickle that way. So I don't think it's a slight for that game not to win.
Nah. Like I said, it's still a blockbuster game. Like we use that term a lot, man. Blockbuster, man. But it's legit a blockbuster, And it's going to be recognized as a blockbuster for this year, man. And they know they can actually just improve on that, man, for the following, other titles in the future for sure. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to to that team. You know what I'm saying? They can definitely, up themselves even bigger and better, man. This like gives them motivation, to actually, go hard next time. You know what I mean? Which is phenomenal. So, but big ups to Helldivers, man, for being the official PTC game of the year. But of course, we go to our last category, which is the other game of the year. And like we said, the other game of the year.
White meat.
The other white meat, right? the other game of the year.
That was my nickname in college.
Right? Oh my God. The other game of the year is basically just sleepers, man. Games that really wasn't recognized that much, you know what I'm saying, in the industry like that, especially to be nominated for Game of the Year, or was too late to be nominated for Game of the Year. But we've seen it as like, yo, this should have been on that list for Game of the Year. So we compiled as the other Game of the Year, and here are the nominees of the other Game of the Year, as chat sees it right now real quick. The other Game of the Year nominees are Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, great game. Marvel Rivals. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Stellar Blade, great game. And last but not least, Tekken 8. Those are your nominees for the other Game of the Year. This will be our last discussion, man. Let's go our strong smoke. What you got, man?
Well, I will say, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it was released on PlayStation at the same time as it was Xbox,
Right.
I think more people would really be raving over this game, even though it's got 9 out of 10, 10s across the board, because it's a sleeper hit. It came out of nowhere. Well, people knew it was coming, but because they didn't put out reviews right away,
Right.
and people, the haters, the typical haters, were like, "Oh, it's a woke game. It's this type of game." Then to come to find out that when the game came out, people were like, "Holy crap! It's like an Indiana Jones movie," and people were going back eating those words, and I was laughing my ass off because those same idiots that were trying to get views by trying to knock the game before the game came out and not even play the game, yet the people, when the game finally came out, people were blown away. People had to go back and eat those words. So I love that like those kind of moments. But again, when it comes out on PlayStation next year, oh my God, people are going to lose their crap over it.
Yeah.
For someone like me that's been playing it, and it's very, like, again, they leveled it up where you can make the puzzles real hard or you can make them easy. You still have to do some thinking. You'll be taking pictures. You're going to be going through your journal. You're going to be learning how to fight. Again, now, do I wish this could have been a third person or given me the option? Of course.
Yeah.
But we're talking about, these are the people who did Wolfenstein. The same people do. So you're not going to get disappointed. You get to kill Nazis. You get to punch out Nazis. Everyone loves games like that. Are you kidding me? This game, for Indiana Jones, from the voice acting to the storyline, you're Indiana Jones in this game. And seriously, I'm already at chapter 2. I'm in another part of the world.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching the movie. The game starts off with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's right.
Just light spoilers. It starts off as Raiders of the Lost Ark. So you get a chance to play Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first 20, 30 minutes of the game.
Yep.
In the beginning. It is all that in the bag of chips.
It was so much fun, dude. I can't do it.
So you get to, and I mean, like, they got the actors to come back, or whoever they got to come back. Troy Baker kills it as Indiana Jones. I'm telling you.
We got to control the show, man. Yeah.
With that being said, Marvel Rivals, pleasant surprise. Because again, like Sid brought up earlier, it's a free game. I was waiting for the ball to drop. I'm like, all right, this is going to be another Fortnite situation. All right, I'm going to download it, probably not like it, and it's going to delete it. I'm like, no, I actually like this game. Actually, this game is easy. This game, and it's not like they're charging you an arm and a leg for stuff, as far as for buying stuff and all.
Right.
You can actually earn it as you play, just like Helldivers. So I love it. I love when you're given that option to do that. But it's the character roster itself is massive, with more characters to be added on. It's a massive, and like I said, Civ has been trying to get me to come on to play with him and the crew, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to come on because I'm playing Indiana right now and all the other games. But I plan on coming back on there. But yeah, those are my 2 games to me, more than anything, that stands out. Indiana Jones and Great Circle on Xbox, and Marvel Rivals. Seriously, if you have the opportunity, get those 2 games. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I totally agree. Before we go to Civ, I totally agree. I think hands down, to me, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is an adventure. I mean, it is a legit adventure,
Yep.
And I love it, man. Like I said, Troy Baker does a phenomenal job as Indy, and because it's like you're watching a movie.
Look, yup, down to the punches.
Yep.
The Wilhelm scream. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Yep.
You got the John Williams soundtrack music.
Yes.
When you start hearing that, dun, 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 you're like, oh yeah,
Yep.
somebody's ass.
Yep.
So
I love it, man. Like I said, as a big Indiana Jones fan that I am, as well, as far as all of us are. Listen, it just pretty much it solidifies, You know, like the actual. Honestly, dude, it just raises it. The mark is raised. You know,
Yeah.
that game is amazing, yo. I loved it. So I really gotta. And again, like I said, for me, a close second would be Marvel Rivals because of how just the impact of that game, you know, is going on with the community as well too. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals is so big.
It's still hitting around the money for a free game
Yeah.
to be
Yep.
on a triple A level.
Yeah.
It's a free game. You don't have to pay for it. That speaks in volumes.
That's true.
Whoever Marvel made up for Marvel Avengers. I'll say it like that.
Facts.
They made up for Marvel's Avengers by putting out Marvel Rivals.
Facts.
Well, I think
100%.
that's part of. I think that's part of what happened. I mean, they took advantage of a perfect storm, as it were. So you have Overwatch 2, which is not hitting its marks. You had Concord, which was, you know, obviously a failure. I mean, the game doesn't even exist anymore, and that's in that same genre of like arena type, you know, team versus team shooters.
Right.
They basically spun the formula on its head a little bit. Went for a third person paradigm where you see the character in front of you where the action is happening. It's not a first person shooter, and really just leaned right into Marvel lore and deep Marvel lore. Because yeah, you get your characters like Captain America and Wolverine and stuff, and then you have characters like Magic and, you know, Jeff the Land Shark,
Moon Knight.
Cloak and Dagger. Like
Yeah.
they kind of went into the roster. Squirrel Girl, that's my
That's
main
right.
there. I love
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl. She's
Yeah.
awesome in that game. And for me, I was like, wow, they did their homework. Like they really went into this, and just I've never I have maybe only one other time have I ever seen a multiplayer game, a free to play multiplayer game launch so smoothly. I mean, the biggest complaints I hear about Marvel Rivals is, well, some of the characters are a little imbalanced. Okay, well that's easily fixed. Nobody's complaining about, you know, getting booted out of games. Nobody's complaining about chat servers being bad. Nobody's
Right.
complaining about
Facts.
like, oh, the queue times are bad, or you know, people are rage quitting, or I don't hear any of that.
Yeah.
None of that. That's amazing. Helldivers 2, but just one game of the year. It had a tough launch. Server wise, the servers were bad. That game was glitchy for months.
Yeah,
It's
right,
still a
right.
great game, but they're
True.
still working out the kinks. It's tough to make an online multiplayer game, let alone a free one. I was playing Marvel Rivals, and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of chuckling to myself like, y'all done messed up, Aaron. Like I would have paid for this game. If you would have said, if you would have let me play the demo and then say, okay, we're gonna put this game out, and I don't know how many characters there are at launch. 24. There's a lot. There's a lot of characters.
It's like 30. I thought it was 30.
Something I don't even know. Like I never counted them. But if they would have been
Right.
like, okay, well the game's free to play, and if you play the free version, you can play as Iron Man and one other character. But if you pay the full price, we'll unlock all the characters. I probably would have been that guy who would have been like, yeah, I'll do it. Fine. That seems cool. That seems right. Like I'll gladly pay for this. After playing this game for a couple weeks, I went on and I actually did spend some real money for like skins in the store. I'm not that guy. I never do that. I never do
Really,
that, but I had
really,
a-
you can man. See,
I did it, but if I want to support a game, because like I said, there's only one other game in history I can remember having a launch like this. It was a free to play game, and that was Warframe.
Right.
I love Warframe, and I played Warframe forever, years. That was like my number one game. I was putting mad hours, and yeah, I would spend money in their store because I'm like, Digital Extremes is a great studio that supports its game and it listens to the gamers and
Right.
supports the players. I'm like, I'll throw a couple bucks their way. They gave me this great game. I played for a couple thousand hours. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll get $50 for some online money to throw in the game. I don't have any problem with that. I believe in supporting a good product. I have no problem with it. So with Marvel Rivals, I was like, yeah, okay, here's a couple bucks. This is cool. Like I'll buy that Wolverine suit that you know, from Wolverine versus Deadpool. Like
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I don't care, man. So my vote in this category, it's tough only because I have not yet played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yeah.
I know I will get it when it comes out for PS5. I promise. I love the games it's machine games that came out with this, right? You said about these.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They make some of my favorite games. The Wolfenstein games were amazing. What else did they do that was just a couple of years ago? They had, oh, come on, Wolfenstein. What was the other IP? I forget. But they're again a studio. They just make nothing but like awesome games. So I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely support it when it comes out. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, amazing. Tekken 8, amazing. Stellar Blade, amazing.
Yeah.
But to me, just from what I've heard about Indiana Jones and what I know about Marvel Rivals, I got to go with either one of those. But I have played one and not played the other, so by default, I got to go Marvel Rivals.
Gotcha. That's fair. Also, Quake was the other
Quake,
title.
thank you. God, I couldn't
Yeah, it
remember.
was the other title that Machine Games made as well too. Quake.
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to remember. It's been a long day.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah, thank you.
And Chad has also man, listen, we got the other Game of the Year winner. This is the last award where we're gonna pass out, man, to one of the great games, man, that needs to be recognized as far as 2024 goes, man. And that winner for the other Game of the Year is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Definitely taking home a Patsy as the other Game of the Year. So congrats to Indiana Jones. Congrats to everybody pretty much that made the game. You will be taking home the other Game of the Year, recognizing the
Me.
Right. Interesting. So it won the other Game of the Year, but next year, when it comes out on the PS5, will it be re-eligible to win?
Probably.
Yeah.
This would be a first. It could be the first game ever to win both the Game of the Year and the other Game of the Year, because one does not exclude the other.
That's true.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it comes out February. I heard somebody said February.
I think
April.
Don't worry. Jeff Keighley will make it happen.
I'm sure. Yeah. Right. Oh, well deserved.
Well deserved, man.
Hey,
so big ups.
Belongs in a museum.
There you go.
Belongs in a museum.
So congrats.
And he does say that too.
Yeah, right. Now, congrats to all the winners, man, for the Passies for 2024, man. Listen, this
you want to recap them? You want to run down the list?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as the winners go, best multiplayer experience went to Marvel Rivals. So that was best multiplayer experience. Best video game character of the year. Did I get that correct? Yeah, I'm sorry. Best video game character of the year was Wukong from Black Myth Wukong. Or I'm sorry,
no, it was not. It was Astrobot.
It was Astrobot.
What are you doing?
My bad. I'm highlighting the wrong thing. I think my highlight went crazy, man. Oh my God. What was the other ones, man? Did you have them all highlighted?
Yes,
Sil?
I will do them.
Thank you, because my highlight went crazy.
It sure did. Video game movie / TV show of the year went to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie.
Yep.
Video game console of the year, the Nintendo Switch, very well earned. Wow moment of the year was Balatro, nominated for Game of the Year and winning 3 separate awards.
Yep.
Flub of the year goes to the massive industry layoffs this year. Unfortunately, over 15,000 very talented, very underappreciated individuals within the gaming community lost their jobs this year, and we send our sincere condolences for that, and we hope that 2025 brings you some better opportunities and companies that will, appreciate your talents. The feel-good moment of the year was Balatro, emerging out of nowhere and demonstrating the power and potential of indie gaming. PTC show moment of the year goes to the Helldivers Warhammer cosplay mashup featuring myself and, of course, the legendary Eric the Smoke Moran. Soundtrack of the year goes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which was amazing. Graphics, Black Myth Wukong picks up the #1 spot.
Yep.
Game of the year goes to Helldivers 2, and the other game of the year is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which I can't wait to play.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to. You guys have hyped me up. You guys made me a believer.
Listen, man, it's so good.
Congratulations to everybody. Good. Well earned. So the Passies have been handed out. The confetti has dropped.
Yep, exactly.
My NyQuil is kicking in.
There you go.
Yeah.
and of course, that concludes our. Is it 5th or 4th annual? I feel like
this is the 5th. This is, believe it or not, this is the 5th one we've done.
5th, man.
So yeah, we've been doing this for a while. We're going into our 8th year. Of course, I mean, it sounds kind of corny, I know, but like I can't end the year without thanking the people that have helped us out, the people that have followed us, have had a good time with us, the people that have sat in the audience venues with us, who have watched us have these really awesome moments with these different celebrities we've done.
Yes.
Who have tuned into our shows, who have shared our content online, who have had us as part of their conventions, who have had us in their hearts and and we get into these little, online talks about things and everything. When you're participating, it makes us better. It makes us feel that, we're giving you guys the content that you want and is deserving of you. So we really do appreciate it. We know that we're, the little guys out there, we're the low men on the totem pole, but just keep in mind, guys, we are not a monetized social media outlet. We are not professional podcasters. We do this out of love.
Yes.
And all that love is for you. So thank you so much. I know Nick, the intern, could not join us tonight. Just a reminder, he was not, he was indisposed tonight. I think something's going around. I think we're all sick. So I don't know.
Pretty much, man. Listen, that's how it is for the season.
Staying up all night playing Marvel Rivals and Helldivers too. So yeah, it's probably part of that. But he does send his greetings to everybody, and we love Nick, and on even a more personal note, I just really wanted to thank the fine and talented people here at Passive Controller. You guys make this worth it. I've had a blast doing this with you guys. Thank you. It was a great year. Everybody just, we just onward and upward. Everybody's just making this thing bigger and bigger. So I appreciate it. I think everybody out there does. So big round of applause. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. And again, same to y'all, man, for real. Same to everybody. Listen, this has been an amazing 7th season of PTC. I mean, who would have thought that we would have continued on 7 seasons now? On to our 8th season coming in the New Year's, man. So first of all, Happy New Year to everybody coming up soon. Hopefully everybody has a great holiday, man. Like I said, hopefully everybody has a better 2025. Make sure that 2025 is off rocking as far as what you want to do, especially in the video game community as well too, man. Like, listen, we're going to do a big 2025. But again, thank y'all so much for kicking with us for sure. And we're going to do a lot more bigger and better things for y'all for 2025. So definitely stay tuned and definitely keep us, our notifications on as well too. Like I'll probably speak for everybody here. Listen, y'all make us continue on into what we do, and just we love it. We love it. It's a passion project.
Can I share screen for a second? Just a second to do a quick promo of something. Am I able to share screen?
I think you can.
Okay, can I? Send request here. I'll request
there you go.
To share screen.
Yep.
I want to show something. Since we talked about Bellatra tonight, let me know if you can see my screen. Can you? Can you see it?
Did you share it? No.
I hit request to share.
I did. I allowed it.
There we go. Okay, so I want to show everybody something. So in case you're unaware, right now,
I see it.
Bellatra Physical Edition on the PS5 is on sale.
Showed it right now. There you go.
At Best Buy, and we're not compensated for this, but I believe in hyping up a good product when I see it. So right now, the
good game,
special edition is on sale. It's only $24.99. So if you guys are looking to get a really great game and support a really great developer for not a lot of money and have a good time, check that out. We don't get any kind of kickback from this.
Dude, the fact that it includes 10 Bellatra cards too is a must-have.
It is cool, yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's kind of dope. So yeah, I would just look into that. I'm not, again, we don't have any kind of advertising or anything, but I believe in, like, giving shout outs. So that's not bad.
This game is fun. I'll tell you right.
$24.99 for this game that's pretty decent.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, I think that's something kind of cool if you guys are looking for something good.
I'm telling you right now, as a disciple of Bellatra, man, I approve. This game must be in everybody's homes and on their their TV screens right in this moment, because this is too addicting. You cannot miss this out. Like, seriously, it's amazing, so amazing. So yeah, I like that. I like that, man. I like that. Okay, shoot,
good stuff.
It's a must-have for sure.
That's all I got. Anyway, tell them Civic sent you.
There you go. But thank you everybody so much for joining us in the 5th annual Passies Awards. Like I said, we'll be back coming through you with our regular show in January. Like I said, make sure you have a good New Year's. Make sure you be safe. We love you so much. And of course, before we do that, before we go, we got to give our endgame credits as well too, man. Listen, if you enjoyed this show, if you enjoyed this ceremony, this award ceremony, make sure you share this with everybody in your community, man, so they won't miss a beat, man. They won't miss any of our content. And of course, you can go on to PTC Nation, which is a fan page for y'all on Facebook, where you can share anything you want to, video game related, anything. absolutely anything. I'll read down a whole bunch of stuff that you can share, but absolutely anything video game related, man, you can share in PTC Nation. Man.
Even your social security number.
Yeah, maybe not, because that's not video
maybe
game
not,
related.
but
That's not video game
all
related,
right.
but you recognize, listen, we can all pass control together, man, and just hit us up. Like I said, the QR code is right down there. You can hit us up on any social media. So make sure you put your phone right at the bottom of the screen, right there with that QR code. Just snap it, man, so you can catch us on anywhere, anytime, any place, no matter what, man. Keep your notifications on, all that kind of good stuff, man. Seriously. So for Smoke, for Civ, again, thank you so much for another amazing 7th year of Pass Controller. My name is McNux, man. Listen, as always, people, please get good.
Peace and hair grease, y'all. Ain't not like Dutch. Ain't not like Dutch. Ain't not like Dutch. Ain't not like Dutch. All right, y'all. I gotta go eat because I'm about to cut town. All right, Civ, I'll let you know as soon as I get the tickets. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Try not to forget. Try not to forget us little people as you're getting big. Look, we can't help with your